baby.
Jesus, look at the time in there. Hello. Hey everybody, happy Friday. Welcome to, come on, the weekend, man. It has just befallen us right here in front of us. We are in the right place at the right time, in precisely the right attire. You're very welcome along to Friday. And tonight, friends, we continue on with the voyage of the Bremen flight. And we're taking off out of Greenland, going to Canada, down to a place called Goose Bay. Fascinating stuff. So we started this journey a couple of weeks ago, following on an anniversary flight of the Bremen aircraft. The Bremen, of course, the very first aeroplane, fixed wing, to travel across the Atlantic Ocean from the east to the west. It happened in 1928. The Junkers W-33, named the Bremen, took off out of Baldonnel, County Dublin, and it flew across the Atlantic. It took them some 36 and a half hours, and they didn't plan for that, but luckily they had enough fuel. Herman Cole, Gunter van Hunfeld, nearly forgot, and of course James Fitzmaurice with the crew, and they flew all the way across. And we've been following on with this journey for the last few weeks. We do it every year to kind of mark the anniversary of the Bremen flight. And, well, delighted to say we're continuing on. And we have a brand new livery to show off this evening, with thanks to Cyrus T, who followed the inspiration that Gibbo created. Gibbo Ireland gave us the Alpha livery for Firefly Air, and it's the BAE 146, which is now available over on our website, twotonmurphy.com. Now, some general news announcements. There's a new bot. He's still called Sir Murphbot, but there's a new bot in behind the gadget. So if it acts to eat you tonight, lads, we'll try not to worry too much. I think I'm getting like a sensitive tooth. Do you ever get that? Right, nothing more Sensodyne and all that sort of jazz. And I burnt the top of me mouth eating pizza. You combine that with still a very ouchy finger, like shocking ouchy. And then I saw a comment on my YouTube about me lights. I need to fix that. See the way they're auto ISOing, auto color, no, it's auto exposure. I need to fix. I don't know how to do it. Says your man with a diploma in photography. I cannot get the settings, no matter what way I do it, dialed into the camera. So I have work this weekend. Oh, do you know what else? This arrived today. This is the Winwing gadget TUI for the Airbus. And you know, lads, it's an awful lot bigger than I expected. That's what she said. But it's huge, right? And I've to somehow connect this to all me flying stuff. And I'm quite impressed. This thing was like $100. 100, right? And it's massive, look. They're friggin' huge. Madness, right? Absolutely madness. So, don't let that fall now. It came a long way from China. So I've been, trying to install that over the weekend. But how is everyone? How did your week go? It was a busy week. We did some ATC revision last night, and that went well. Went very well. And we've more coming up on Sunday. And apart from that, I've been busy. Work has been busy. Hello there. Work has been busy, as it always is. I'm telling you, I'm getting a sensitive tooth, and I did burn the top of my mouth with a pizza. Do you ever do that? You take a bite into a pizza and it scalds the top of your palate? I'm in a terrible, right? It's all downhill from here, lads. And me finger, like, it's still proper sore, right? You know, the way we're trying to get a bit of a laugh is genuinely sore. But anyway, I digress. It's grand. We're flying in an airplane. I don't really know how to fly either, so I'm looking forward to it. Right? It's going to be brilliant crack. But anyway, who's here in the chat? Look, we've loads of stuff to go through tonight. Who's here now? We'll have a look. Black Ice Gabe has rambled in. He said, oh, Jesus, happy Friday, lads and ladettes. Sun is beaming here in God's country, as usual. Black Ice Gabe, thank you very much indeed. 33 months at tier 3. Insane support, my guy. Thank you very much indeed. Me finger. Yeah, that was genuine. Anyway, moving on abruptly and swiftly. Tarnish Mossman is in the house. Good to see you. Super Typhon is here. Viper Strike rambles in. He flew out of Ketchikan yesterday. Oh, nice. Fierce Wolf looking fierce. Jan Wolfie, welcome in. Let me see. Night Zepp is here. Jan Drace, good to see you. Dougal McTavish, the chairman. He's not sure about getting his A320 out of here. It'll be grand. Captain Sickbag is in the house. Good to see you, my guy. Dragon 617 is here. 18 months. Thank you very, very much indeed for all the support, Dragon. Cyrus T is here. Yeah, baby. He says, happy Friday, Fireflies, and enjoy the flight. We're going to be checking out your handiwork here now in a moment, Cyrus. And, well, thank you very much indeed. And welcome in. Sean Dale is here. B. Carlo, welcome aboard. Stick Figure is in the house. Echo Tango, you're very welcome in. Zythy, hello. Lead Ballooner has rambled aboard. Good to see you, man. Spitfire, RAF 100 is in the chat. Welcome in, man. Soaring AJH, man. Wombat49, he says, g'day, mate. How's the bloody finger? Just bloody sore. And I'm genuinely getting a pain in my tooth. I hate the dentist. You might have noticed from my Delph. I keep them clean, but they're all going different ways. They've character. You know, they've character. My teeth have character, you know. I've too many positive traits. I need a few, you know, otherwise I'd be that guy. The alpha male, do you know? Yeah, go on, Murphy. Give us another one. But anyway, Proby Pete, it's good to see you. See you later's in the chat. Welcome aboard. Who else is here? Look, it's kind of busy. SK Sun, welcome in. Captain Sickbag, 500 bits. Thank you very much indeed. They started a hype train, look. Jesus. There's a hype train bell in there somewhere. Oh, Jesus, what did I press? Stop pressing buttons, Murph. It's grand. Captain Meowingtons, you're very welcome aboard. Tritz4 is here. Hope you are well. And you. Old Veteran 965, Scott, a very happy Friday. Lee Dixon rambles in. Energizer says, evening all. Murph, I'm sure I may have missed it. As I kind of just slipped by, but what happened to me finger? Energizer, I will share with you a tale of woe. Cast your eyes back to Wednesday during the day, and I took a delivery of a new oven. The last oven gave up. It quit, right? And I was trying to do some wiring when I realised there wasn't an isolator switch. And the man from Curry said, I can't do anything for you. So I inadvertently sprung a lump of copper wiring, jabbed it, made the incision at the 9 o'clock position in my middle finger, and I nearly bled out. Nearly lost the whole arm. I mean, right? Deep burn. But yes, terrible, sad. The neighbours got very upset. They were delivering sandwiches and everything here today. Kaharia, the lovely Kaharia, you're very welcome aboard. Old Veteran 965, 40 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Scott. Insane support. He says, oh my, has it really been that long? And to think, I stuck around on YouTube for quite a while before I tried out the new fandangled Twitch. I hate new things. Brilliant. Welcome in, and thank you very much indeed, Scott. Great to see you, man. Six Knots is here. Kieran, you're very welcome aboard. We have news of a hub. We have a news of a hub coming in. Hemmingbird is here. She says, I had a terrifying experience last night. I was alone in my house having a bath when suddenly I felt a tap on my shoulder. A pun should always be natural. Don't fuss it. Happy Fly Day. Jesus. Did I ever tell you the time I cut my arse in the bath? This is going back years ago now, right? But you know the way, right? They should put a sign on a bath. It only happened to me once, so I did learn my lesson. But never put your back to the taps. Never put your taps on your back to the taps, because as you go to get out, right, and we didn't have the nice fancy taps, you know, the nice rounded, you know, these things were sharp. They were like Waterford Crystal friggin' taps we had, right? And whatever move I made getting out of the bath, the buttock caught it, and I nearly had 2 cracks. Let's be honest about it, right? I nearly had a double cracked arse, and I got up out of it anyway. And so bad was the new crack that appeared after I cut the thing, the man brought me in next door where there was a nurse working, and her actual words were to Anne, he's after cutting himself a new arse. What? She says. And it didn't need stitches. Thankfully. I was I wasn't that young. Well, I was young. Do you know, I was 9 or 10 or something. So never get into the bath backwards. No. Go in frontwards. Now, there's a lesson, health and safety announcement whilst wearing your high visibility vest. Two-faced. Never too-arsed. Right? Why do I share these stories? Put your vape down, Murph. What? Who? What? What are you talking about? Tritz4 says, yeah, sorry, Murph. I forgot about the finger. I'll tell you about it now in a while. It was a tale of woe. Now, let me see. Lima Kilo Mike is in that chat. Good to see you. Old Veteran 965. 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you very much indeed. Scott, you're a madman. He's a madman. But yes, thank you very, very much. And if you just received a tier 1 sub by Old Veteran 965, well, do be sure to say thank you. Thank you. Rogers RC is in the house. Good to see you, man. Rob MCR is here. Papier Freaks, welcome in. Let me see, it's catching up. P.S. Miranda. Hello there. It's good to see you, man. Goblin Zeus, good evening. Renoir is in the chat. Happy Friday. Sterling says, finally got the 146 update today. Such wait. Wow. Indeed, indeed. Larger Life is here. Good to see you, man. Muse fan bursts in the door saying, how he is. Yous mad jokes, yous. Good to see you, Muse. Happy Friday. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John. Patrick. Sure, how are you, Patrick? He says, well, hello there, everyone. And happy Friday. Larger Life, how is your finger? Oh, it's terribly sad. Oh, Jesus, hello there. It's terribly sad. But we're hanging on in there. You know, the show must go on, right? Maybe you need a cavity search. Never go into a dentist and ask them for a cavity search. Doesn't work out that well. I don't have a funny story about that. I am genuinely getting a pain in the back of my tooth. This is going to be like... You can only imagine poor Mrs. Two-Tone. Like, when I have an ouchie or an owie, right, which is a lot at the time, I tend to bash myself around the place, but, like, I'm quite difficult. I can only imagine to live with. Do you know what I mean? Oh, the pain. Oh, me hand. Oh, right, do you know? And now I've 3 things wrong with me today. 3. Me tooth, the top of my mouth is burnt, and me finger is still quite sore. I'm really genuine. Oh, that's not going to be good at all. I hate the dentist. Anyway, I was over here, look. Music, Murphy. Yes. Now, let me see. Black Eyes Gabe says, Murph, you've nearly done as much self-harm. Right. Right. Politics, Gabe. Let's leave it there. But yes, I know what you're saying. Quit hurting yourself. I'm trying to carry you. Speed Nut is here. 37 months. Happy weekend. Thank you very, very much indeed, man. It's great to see you. Now, Sunday, when will the ATC revision, Murph? 1800 Zulu time, 7 o'clock. An hour behind us on Sunday, if that makes sense. So whatever time it is now, go back an hour and 18 minutes, and we should be good. Wayland Jutani, good evening. B. Carlo is here, 24 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, B. Carlo. Great to see you. Paparazzi is here. Good to see you. The poll is back up. Oh, good man, Muse. Brilliant. Mick Ham is here. Good to see you. Airlock Doc says, sorry I'm late, but I was getting my bingo cards ready for Murph's stream. And there's the oh me finger square. Do you remember we used to do bingo? Where's that bingo board gone? The bingo board? Remember we had bingo? Scary Wolf, welcome in. What size can did he catch? Jefferson 2001. The man, myth and legend has rambled in. It's good to see you, man. Now let me see. Charlie B. Hello from White Sweden. Hello from kind of drizzly yet kind of dry Ireland. Welcome in. Good to see you. Now, let me see. We have our route. We're going to do it here on Sim Brief now in a moment. Test Pilot is in the house. Good to see you. Gaseous Maximus, welcome in. Still working, so I'll be watching and judging the skills. I like it. Toto is here. Welcome in. Tragic victim of finger tooth burned mouth. Stick figure has it there in 1. Stick figure knows my pain. He knows it, man. He knows it. Strap 21, hola. M Dark is here. Welcome aboard. Test Pilot says, sounds like you're falling apart, Murph. Wait till you get to 50. Right. One Fly Air. Good to see you. Now, let me see. Alpha isn't a correct term anymore. Wolves don't work that way. It's parents and kids instead. Jesus. Black Void. Happy Friday from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Celebrating 100 years of the Royal Canadian Air Force. You're welcome in. Black Void. Good to see you. Now, let me see. Takey is calling for the refueling truck. Uh-oh. Moz, should we just ban Energizer right now for asking that question? Nighthawk is here. He says, afternoon, everyone. Looking forward to watching Murphy kiss the cod and drink the screech. Jesus, is that what they call it? Now, vote if you're fed up with the finger, press 1. That's all right for you to say, Nightsep, until it happens to you. Do you know what I mean? I bring the real matters of the world to people's attention. You know, things that matter. I better stop though. Jess, now, shh, we'll move on. Now, where are we at? Muse says, we don't want to know how you cut your arse in the bath. Listen, it can happen, right? Anyway, why would you ever get in facing backwards in the bath? Are you that far backwards? Two Cats. And now to right, yeah. I don't know why I share these stories with you. They may have stitched up the wrong one, says Nightsep. Brilliant. Just think if they would have, yeah, right, brilliant. Right, shh, let's change the story completely. Hey Murph, how's the finger, says Whiskey Tango Air. Be the Jesus, welcome in. If you're sharing the bath, someone has to have the taps, just saying. Dougal, now that I see that in my mind and picture it, not you and I now, do you know, that'd be weird. But yes, someone unfortunately would have to, you know, go on the dangerous side of the bath. And think about it, they're down at the same end as the plug. Right, this has all gone terribly technical. Where are we at? We're over here, look. Let me see. Dragon, welcome in. Dr. Notham, you're very welcome aboard. Mr. Dan is here. Welcome in. Ambo Man Streaming. Welcome in. I think we're getting this. It's fine. It's fine. Now, wait. How come we never mentioned your finger? It's fine. Right, we're moving on here. Did Murph burn his mouth with some stew? It wasn't stew. Behind for Murphy. That could be dangerous. Murph, I think the missus has 2 children to look after. She really does. God love her, she does. King Ari, good to see you. Hope all is well. Patrick says, I was lying in bed last night and felt something tickling my leg aggressively. After lifting up the blanket, I discovered it was a spider crawling up my leg. Patrick, I'd have been on the 9 o'clock news this morning, a madman on the loose. Run. Did you ever see Forrest Gump? Forrest ran for miles. Now, I probably wouldn't run, I'd pass out. But you get the idea. I wouldn't stop, lads. I wouldn't stop. Now, we're over here. Devil Dude. Big ease. Devil Dude, good to see you. Right, now, Jackie P, your energy is infectious. Thank you very much indeed. You want to live with me, though. Right. You wake up in the morning. Good morning. Oh, God, does he ever shut up? Do you know? Vince C, welcome in. Burn the house. Wait, what? Dinner Riley, welcome in. And, of course, to our friends on YouTube, we have Mark Burton is here. Good to see you, Mark. Gary Duggan, welcome in. Let me see now. I've other buttons here. Jesus. Time Lord Flight, good to see you, man. Kevin Riley. Jay Johnson, welcome in. DVD Review. Dude, good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Right, so that's kind of the stamp of it now, lads. So I'm going to move back in my chair slowly and, backwards for a dramatic effect. And I appear over here. Now I need to turn my microphone. Hang on. Now, friends, now. So, welcome in. This is the beautiful creation that we have from Cyrus T, and it is that of the livery for Firefly Air. I'm not going to say it, but you know what I've just done. Inspired by Gibbo, right? So, before we get going on tonight's adventure, right? Well, we have some stuff to show you. So, 6 knots, Kieran has been flat out, ladies and gentlemen. And there's now some information about our upcoming hub. So, those who are in the top of the leaderboards, these guys, well, you get to vote on the new hub. You see? Pretty cool. So, there's what? 3, 6, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. There's a lot of you. A lot of you get to vote on the new hub. So do be sure you get in there and have an L vote. So there's a number of recon flights available. This is where we go out and check out the latest hub options before you vote. So there are 4 airports there. Addis Ababa, we have Nairobi, Kilimanjaro and Zanzibar. So we have a couple of airport choices to vote for the new Firefly Air hub. And a big massive shout out to Kieran and the crew over at Firefly Air on the admin team. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So here we are with the BAE 146, or as Just Flight call it, it's the 146 Professional version 2. This aircraft got an update a couple of weeks back, and I have to say it's absolutely incredible. This is the 100 variant, and it features that of a brand new livery with thanks to Cyrus T, and he had a lot of work. God love him, he had a lot of work to do on this, but I'm loving it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving this design of the livery so far. It's just, and like as I said before, it changes so much depending on the aircraft you're using with it. I adore it. I think it's fantastic. Love the colours, love the lines, and it's great to see it appearing on more of our fleet. And the other liveries that we have as well, it gives us great choices. It gives us great options when we want to go flying for Firefly Air. So I'm loving it, right? Absolutely loving it. So this one here, the attention to detail, it's staggering when it came from Just Flight with this aircraft. And now that we have a new livery on it, well, look, I mean, you can just see the detailing. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Isn't it fantastic, lads? Just Flight have done an incredible job. Cyrus, you've done an incredible job. And of course, Gibbo's design, just an incredible job. The whole thing just looks fantastic. Now, if you do want to grab this download, it's available on our website under downloads. We did have an older one for the 146. You need to remove the older one first because it creates a bit of a conflict. All right. So can we get the points of emotes into the chat for both Cyrus and for Gibbo, because they've done incredible work. And well, they've spent time and effort making all these liveries for us to enjoy. Well done, lads, and thank you very much indeed. So what we need to do, friends, let me see. We're going to ramble on over to SimBrief, and I've put in our details. We're departing out of Bravo Golf Bravo Whiskey, and we're going to go over to see Charlie Yankee Yankee Romeo. All right, Greenland down to Goose Bay here in Canada, out by Newfoundland, right? Altitude cruising, it says 34,000 feet. Let's go with it. And, well, speed of the aircraft will probably cruise along here at about 290 knots, maybe, 280 knots, maybe, give or take. We'll have a look. The route is here. I'm going to copy this and put it into the bot. And you'll have to bear with me because we've a new bot. Now, let me see. And I've loads of buttons to press when it comes to bots as well. So just bear with me now. We'll go into route. Now, there's also something cool with this new bot as well, lads, right? Because we now have brand new leaderboards. Leaderboards, yes. If you put in exclamation point leaderboards, it's something that I'm working on. And you'll see then, as you tune into the channel, be it on Twitch or be it on YouTube, you'll get to be able to see... maybe it's leaderboard, PS Mirandai, rather than leaderboards. But the idea behind it is every couple of minutes that you watch, depending if you follow or if you subscribe or whatever, you're going to get a link to a leaderboard, right? And I'll show you what they look like here now in a sec. Because I think it's cool. I think it's absolutely cool. And, you know, if you comment during a stream, if you just show up and you say hello, it works. It absolutely works. Right, so I've just updated the bot there with the route. So if you put in exclamation point route, it'll bring you in. It'll show you what you're doing. All right. Now let me see. So if you have a look at the leaderboard, so have a look at it there and it should pop up, right? Let me see here now. So my leaderboard, right? Public leaderboard. Now, it's only starting off, but it looks a little bit something like this. And I'll tidy it up and make it all look very fancy and all the rest, right? But you can see that you have number of points, and then the whole thing is going to start increasing, right? And there's 10 points for every 10 minutes. Subscribers get double the points, all right? And followers receive 5. All non-anonymous tippers receive 5. Cheers receive 5 for every 100 bits. And subscribing receive 10. But anyway... don't worry too much about that. As you watch, your points go up. That's the idea, right? And we'd be creating features and redeemable things for the stream based on the points that you have.
Behave.
Something happened. Oh, behave. So we're going to be... not yet. I'm going to work on it over the weekend. But it means, like, you'll be able to redeem certain things on the screen, which could be anything. It could be anyone. It could be anything at all. Like, we have a number of alerts there. But we'll, you know, maybe some less intrusive ones or some maybe nice kind of graphics or stuff could appear as well. I'm working on it. All right, working on it. So it's all new. It's all new, right? It's all new.
Can I get a refund?
No, shag off. There's no refunds. But yes, vote sorted. Brilliant. Vote. Oh wait, the vote. We just voted again. Jesus. Are you giving $1 million? Yes, Kanzui. Yes. No. Right. So into our aeroplane we go. Oh, Jesus, that looks terribly strange. Something's not right here. The textures are absolutely shot. Uh-oh. Does anyone have this issue? So the plane has not loaded its textures correctly. What if we slew it? Oh, Jesus, it's properly Goose this, isn't it? Are you back in... like, what is going on? This was all working perfectly? It hasn't loaded the inside textures yet. How do I fix this, lads? Have we found a new issue? I can just restart the flight if it doesn't actually, if it doesn't work right. You know what I mean? There we go. So, another issue with DirectX 12. All is well in the realm. So, welcome back in, and here we are in the cockpit, and we should have GSX there, which we do. So, a couple of things. We're going to go into our main page here. Ooh, look at the fancy Firefly Air, right? So, we're going to go to our official flight plan. And it's going to fetch this. That's what it looks like. Our route is going to be direct NA, direct Hotel 5851, direct Dory. Okay, that's what we're flying. Map, that'll map load in. Lovely. What else do you want here now? So charts, that should all be rambled in. Any notes, checklist, top of descent calculator, and settings. Okay, we're looking good. All right, so into the aircraft options. Import the sim brief. Yes, import. Dish. And we want to do some stuff, so we're going to say packs total. So I'm going to say start loading the aircraft. Waiting for GSX to start boarding. So GSX, request boarding.
Boarding requested. Passengers bus is coming.
Okay, waiting for forward cargo door. Cargo doors are open. Oh, Jesus, lads. I don't know what's causing that issue. Isn't it weird? Open aft cargo. Yeah, well, it can do nothing here for the minute. FPS is tanking 7 FPS? Are you serious? Huh. This is quite unusual. I don't know, we try and fix this. Interface. Yeah. I can't access anything until it wants to load up the airplane. This used to be an issue before, wasn't it? If you go up high enough, you're forcing the sim to reload the settings, and we should be grand, which we are. Most unusual. Now go back in here. Turn on this gadget. Oh, we've no power yet. Hang on. Okay, so cargo door. Open that. Open that. Oh, Jesus, don't open that one. Open this one. Ground power, go ahead and grab. We can go battery 1 and 2. External power on. And we'll continue on here now with some stuff. So we're going to say yaw dampener, autopilot switches, avionics. Turn on all the stuff we need. Spoilers, put them all on. Engine pumps, go ahead and activate these guys. We're just getting everything ready for the APU when we do start it up. Get the inner pumps up and running here as well. What else do we need? Generators, leave them alone. Galley, turn it on. Cabin air, leave it alone for the moment. Entry and wing lights, logo lights come on. No smoking light is active. All this is looking fairly okay. Get some lights turned on here now as well. So we have electricity in the aircraft. Go ahead and turn on my little radio. One number 7, I think it is. Sit down back there now and shut up, will you? Okay, so that's doing the musicy things. That's good. So let's have a look here now. So it's boarding. So we're going to, let me see. All our weights and balances are there. Super. Go down here now to our little gadgets. Power these fellas on. And let these warm up. Get our radios activated. And our weather radar. Tilt the radome up. Stick it into standby. Let that warm up. Standard extent. Accept. Nav database expires 16th of May. That's quite okay. Now, the universal gadget. Do we want this? I suppose we do. Flight plan, load ATC, arrive, depart. So, flight plan. No, don't do that, Murph. Menu. Flight plan, menu. Normal. No. Depart, arrive. I need to load it in. Load ATC route. Is that the one? Yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay. Let us go to, let me see, flight plan. So this should all be loaded in if I'm looking at it correctly. So if we're looking at, that's not right at all. Flight plan, right? Delete info or, yeah, delete that. Delete. And delete. Okay. Copy pilot rate. Now let's see. So we're going into flight plan page. But there's nothing there. So we need to type in this guy, isn't it? Oh wait, and do you know what I forgot to do? I'm an idiot! SimBrief downloader. I forgot to download the route, lads. That's what happened. So let's see here now. So Firefly 235, that is it there. So we need to find Just Flights and grab you and download. Thank you. And let me see here now. Flight plan. Now, why aren't you coming in here? So if we say number 1, does it not download? One file has been saved, so it's that, right? Why aren't you appearing? Let's refresh it just to be sure, to be sure, to be sure. There we go. Flight plan is available. Download. And now we should be good to go. Into the aircraft. Copy this route. Number 1. And enter. There we go. Jesus, for a second there I was getting completely lost, right? Brain cells EXE not working. Gibbo, just had a moment. But it's alright. We're in there now. Also, how are you? Good to see you, Gibbo. Welcome in. Right, okay, so we have BGBW and then it's up to NA. Then we have some airways and then we're in. Super duper. And let me see. Info, we're going to go over to, or not info, beg your pardon. We're going to go to menu. So return. We're going to select number 1. Menu. Depart. Runways. So we are departing from runway 24, number 2. Enter. SID is none. Enter that. Let me see the arrival then. Got the next page. No, previous. CYYR. Let me see menu. We're going to put our arrival. We've no arrival either, so it's going to be on runway 33. Number 4 goes in here. Runway number 4 and nothing and nothing. Approach. We have an RNAV. Let's go with that. Numero 1. Enter. Select your transition. Let me see. So we're coming in from Dory. I don't see Dory. So let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. So, it's the Dory. Jesus, all the lions here, look. Holy moly. Let's have a look here now. Turn them fellas off. So we're saying Dory, right? So if we want an approach here, let's open this. Let's go to approach. Let's look at an RNAV. Now it's giving us 3-3 when we could be going for something a bit more fancier because there is there's an ILS there for 08. What's the weather doing? Let me see. 260 at 8. Oh Jesus, it's windy. Gusted 16, lads. It's gusting 16. So runway 26 we could go for. So I think we'll change this plan and let's go for runway 26 rather than messing it around, right? So let me see here. Go back into our flight and we're going to change the runway here to 26. We're going to add that to the route instead and then we can see our approach and it's going to be runway 26. Let's have a look here now. That's unfortunate. We've no ILS. RNAV 26. We could do that one, I suppose. Yeah, let's do that one. So be in via Mobut. What's GSX looking for? Waiting for your action. Close the aft packs. Very good. Okay, so let's go in here and just edit that flight a teeny tiny bit. And our arrival runway we're going to say is 26. And save that. Okay, so let's go back. Let me see. Runway. We're going to say 26, number 3. Enter. No star, and then the approach is the RNAV for 26, number 4. Enter. Transition. Mason, Radul, Scout, or Bajer. I see Mobut, but where's the does anyone see the transition there? No? Interesting. I don't see any of those on it, so I don't think we have a transition. Okay. Leave it blank. Okay. What else we need to do? Fuel. So basic, this should all be tightened in. Fuel on board 7214. Fuel on board 7214. That should be all set. Boarding has been completed. Lovely. Close up the doors. Get the stairs in. Stairs coming in. It's Scout. Is it Dougal? Okay, it's Scout, he reckons. Okay, let's go into that, so. Let's go menu. Let's go arrival. No. Menu. Let's go arrival. Runway is going to be number 3. And the approach is going to be the RNAV for 26, which is number 4. And it's going to be Scout number 3. Thank you, Dougal. Right, we'll go with that. Right, so fuel. Looking good here. Don't do that. Cancel. Next. Fuel flow. That's all okay. Radios, paging off. That's okay. Data, DTO, flight plan, VNAV. VNAV. Target VS 1900. Well, we're going up to flight level 360, or at least that's what our flight plan wants us to do. Sorry, 340. I beg your pardon. 340. Right, so continue on. Flight directors, bring them on. Turn on these gadgets. Altitude. What are we saying? 340. So up you go. 340 is what we want. This is such a cool aircraft, but if it's like everything, right? Unless you're kind of flying it regularly, it just catches you out for a while. Do you know what I mean? Now we want to go RNAV. We want to go RNAV. Yaw dampener. Don't worry about that. Does this button work? Yes, it does. Sync button is working. Super. Go ahead and test our annunciator. Our annunciators are looking good. We're on live time and weather as well, by the way, right? Give Ireland with the puns. That's brilliant. Right, okay. Okay, we're looking good. So let me see. Passenger door, go ahead and close. And at this stage, we're going to make sure that we can get our APU powered up. So we're going to go for the APU. We're going to start it up. So we have our inner pumps running, which is what we want. Packs are currently off.
Oh, Jesus.
Ice detection is turned on. Seatbelts can now come on. Emergency lights are already armed. And our external lights are alone what they're doing. What else do we need to do? We're all okay up here. We're all okay up there. And beacon light can come on now because we're going to be moving here very, very soon. This is all terribly, terribly exciting. What else we need to do? Ground power still on. Worry about that for the moment. Let me see here now. Arm doors.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross check.
Arm the doors. We're doing a thing. Right, come down here to my little squawk machine. We'll put in something makey uppy. 6461. Go ahead and test. 61. Brake on. Pretty good. What else do we need here?
Gas system test okay.
Alright. TCAS is working. Radios are doing what they need to do. Weather radar doing what it needs to do. So APU, let's have a look at this. So APU is now available. So we want to put on our APU generator. That's on. We can see pressure coming in. And our APU air can come up. PTU is already on. And if I do this correctly, I can now turn off me external power. External power is turned off. Disconnect. Sweet. All right. So next up is going to be a push and start, right? So in order, before we get moving here, lads, a couple of things need to be turned on. So we'll turn on the rest of our fuel pumps. Generators can come on now. I'll worry about them after. Screen heats, leave them alone. Engine air, leave them alone. We can put on the packs if we want. Engine anti-ice will be used for a startup. That's all looking good. Packs are already on. So we're going to plan for a push back. All right. So we're going to say, hey, push us back here now. So we're going to say, prepare for pushback. Departure clearance requested. Right. It's going to have to do its thing, right? Hello, Mrs. Person. This is all terribly exciting. I'm worried whenever I jump back into the cockpit, we're going to lose our textures again. It's quite a unique problem.
Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Ah, that's brilliant. Ready for pushback, she said. Now, do I need to put in my performance data? Where is this again? Oh, here it is. Jesus. Performance, right? Tailwind. I'm trying to think V-speeds and all that, no? Nav.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Let me see. So we're going to put on this little gadget. There's our V-speeds. Power up our throttle computer gadget. Power is on. We're going to test this. Off she goes. We're getting a push here now. TCAS will go nuts with all the close flying tonight. It's going to go nuts. It absolutely is. Such a great airplane though. And it's like, it'll take you a few minutes, and once you're kind of back used to it, you're laughing.
Locking gear.
Do you know what I mean? Jesus, she's literally inside the plane. Good woman yourself, Susan. She's a great bit of gas, that Susan's, isn't she? Great bit of gas. Right, so we want to go to the flight plan page and just leave it on this for the moment. Go back a page. There we go. We'll keep our eye on that now for the moment. So we're just going to say, well, where are we going? What did we say? Runway 24. So we're going to blast off from 24. Quick check before we go. Runway 24 is this direction, so push us back, nose left. Okay, waiting for your action. Remove the chocks. Chocks removed.
Release parking brakes.
Park and brake is coming off.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, so pack's off. Runway turn off lights can come on. Engine start mode. We're going to turn on the starter master. Ignition goes to on. And we're going to select engine 3. And we're going to say push for start. Okay. So N2 be doing us something. She's up and around 13. Looking good. Fuel. And all should be going terribly well in the realm, we hope. We really hope. Now, where's these buttons, Murph? Ah, yes.
Good day, passengers. This is your captain speaking. Captain Mallet Head is my name.
Huh?
First, I'd like to welcome everyone on board this Fireflyer flight today. If I can figure out the controls, because I have only previously done a few hours in a Cessna over awfully before this, we will be cruising at an altitude of between 500 and 40,000 feet at an airspeed close to stall speed. I really like those constant warning beepings up here, as they do help me sleep. It was a heavy night last night, so catching up on some seas would be nice. I would very much appreciate it if you could all keep it down back there. The weather looks dodgy where we are going, so I'm not even expecting us to land, but if we do, we will be absolutely behind schedule. I forgot to charge my Apple Watch, so that's to blame. If the weather cooperates, we should get a great view of the city. I will pull a few hard banks so you can get a great look without the wing being in the way. The cabin crew are overworked and underpaid, so only if they feel like it will come around to offer you a light snack and beverage. But there's no gin left, so just a heads up on that. In-flight entertainment will follow shortly after that, as I have my keyboard with me for a few sing-songs. Also, none of the toilets are operational. I think the first officer has destroyed them all, so I ask you to hold it in. I will be the one running through the cabin shortly, with the wig on giving high fives, so you can easily spot me. I'll have the tip jar out if you really want to reach our destination. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy this takeoff where I think I am Maverick, and we'll see what this puppy can do.
Right is clear.
Brilliant. Right, let me see. Engine 1 coming alive. Start her up. Yeah, GSX is doing something a bit mad, but sure, listen, it's grand, lads. It's grand. Just don't worry about it. It's totally fine. Right, let's have a look. See how. Engine 1's coming alive. N1 is at 20. Go ahead and introduce the fuel. Engine sounds are a little bit on the old quiet side, aren't they? Cockpit pilot, state saving, cabin announcements. Auto cabin crew? What does that mean? Cabin ambient sounds, yes! High frequency, yes! Okay. Play the nice music. You gotta love it. Isn't it brilliant? Right, we're wasting fuel. What have we done here? Engine 1 is now alive. Yes, it is. Verified. Yes. Let's go up here. We're going for engine 2. Start her up there, Betsy. Nice. Manual. It's in auto mode. Leave that alone. We'll get the packs back on here now in a moment. Engine 2 is spooling up. If you try to fail and succeed, which one have you done? You have failed to succeed. Muse has stutters. Ah, Jesus. Just as you were ready to go, look. Restart. Emergency lights not armed. Emergency flight deck. Oh, wait, hang on. Isn't there like emergency lights here somewhere? Now we should be good. Okay. Now I was looking for ice protection. Let me see. Screen heat off. That's okay. And electrics. It's not liking the electrics here at the moment. That's okay. Screen heat. Stick all these on. The gens are currently offline, but that's okay. APU generator. When I turn off the APU generator, these guys will come alive, I hope. What else do we need up here? These are all on. These are all on. Don't need transfers. They're all looking good. Engine 2 is very much alive. Starter master goes to the off position. Ignition continuous. I think we can leave that on. Anti-ice come off. Engineer, worry about that in a moment. Everything here is looking good. Nothing screaming out and shouting at me. That's a good sign. Park and brake. Flight recorder is off. That'll activate itself. Verify our V-speeds. Yes, we're going to go to takeoff mode selected. And we can run a test just for takeoff as well. What else do we need? Yaw dampener in the off position. Yaw dampener activate. We'll go TA for taxi. And I think we're good, lads. I think we're good. Right, friends. So it's time to start moving. So, taxi lights on. Windscreen wipers, leave them off. And I would think we're all right, lads. You know, famous last words and all. Right? So, park and brake coming off. Oh, Jesus, dial a flap. What do we want? Flaps 18. Flaps 18. And let me see. This should be done through pressing this button here. Our centre of gravity. That should all be done. Yeah. Right, perfect. So it's going to be a left turn, back taxi, runway 24, and then we'll turn on some multiplayer goodness. Bit of power. Right. There's a bit of a turn there now, Julia. Beautiful. Beautiful. Is there a way to turn off the tablet? I don't think there is. Oh, look at that. A cup holder. Ah, brilliant. They thought of everything, did old British Aerospace Engineering, didn't they? They thought of everything, lads. Hey, Adam is here. Good to see you, Adam. Welcome in. Okay. Wow, look at the weather. Live time. Jesus, isn't that only beautiful? Look at that. It's stunning. Right, approaching the active runway. So, landing lights come on. Well, other lights here. Strobes can come on. High intensity lights come on. Logo, entry, turn it off. Everything else looks good. TCAS, go ahead. TARA. Thank you. Now we're going to back taxi. Because the weather sock is on the runway. I mean, of course it is. Of course it is, lads, right? Correction, the better Adam is here. Oh, hold down the power button. Thank you, Cyrus. You can turn it off, but can you disappear it? Maybe you can't disappear it. Ah, it's alright, we leave it on map, right? So let's do a quick flight control test. We'll go full forward, full back, full left, and full right. Sweet. Check outside. Oh, yes. Ah, lads, look at the state of it. Look at the state! Well, look at that view! Jeez, the heat blur. So any sort of mad heat blur you see is the that's SimFX running in the background. Adam Controls is here! The second I clicked onto your stream, correction, the better Adam is here. Correct and right. Good evening. Brilliant! Welcome in. The Addams family are in the house. That's terrible. I know it's really bad, but sure, listen. Right now, let me see. Get ourselves lined up here. Yes. What do we need to do here? We need to arm some stuff. So, Alt arm. Nav, I need to arm. L nav. Yes. There's no star. So we're just going to blast. Sorry, there's no Sid. So we're just going to blast off. All right. All we are missing is Eve. Right? Brilliant. Stavarius is here. Good to see you. Just popping in for a quick hello before the pub. Brilliant, Adam. May the pints be poisonous. Right? You'll be in a jocker tomorrow. It'll be great. All right. Last check before we go. Flaps. Yes. Lights. Yes. Squawk. Yes. We're walking, talking, and squawking. Let's go flying. Power coming in. And Toga.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
TMS set to take off.
Up the yard! Come on, Betsy!
Speed alive, both.
Yes, speed alive. 80 knots.
80 knots, cross checked.
Come on, Betsy.
Power set, and launching. V1.
V1. Rotate.
V2.
Yupsie daisy. Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. All right, look at this. Gear up the hill. Sounds are awesome, they really are. Look at the state of it. Yeah, baby. Multiplayer on. Right, calm it all down now. Speed is looking good. Let me see. Can we go heading mode? Some weather information. Easy. Easy. Flaps coming home. Autopilot engaged. V-speed. Up the hill a little bit. Okay, plane, where are you trying to take me to? It's going to NA. We need to go direct to H585. Thank you.
Who's in charge? You haven't a clue what you're doing.
Watch your speed, Murphy. You can drag the tablet away. Yeah, no look. No look. We're okay for the moment. Let's see where she's trying to fly us. It should straighten up here now in a moment. Watching that speed. We are climbing nice and shallow. We have peoples behind us. Let's just make sure that our autopilot is doing what we need it to do. It's doing what we need it to do. Watch your speed. We're going to start a sharper climb. We're going to go into the climb profile. No, leave it as it is. Leave it as it is. Okay, I think we're looking good. I think we're looking good. Right, friends. So, what we're going to do, if you're on the Xbox, press 1. If you're on the PC, press 2. And if you're here for the sheer crack, because it's Friday, well, you press number 3. And all will be well in the realm. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 1900 Zulu time, right here. right, all right, all right. Look at the state of it. It's like it's trying to surf. Yup, the yard. Right, now, couple of things. So we're going up fairly high, lads. Fairly high. So let me see. VS. She's kind of hovering around there. So let's bring her up here a little bit. And bring in the speed a bit. There we go. We'll probably go standard. Where's the standard gadget? How do we go standard on this yoke? There we go, there's standard. Okay, landing lights, take them off. And the rest is looking fairly good. Seatbelts off. Passengers can relax in the turbulent air. Super Tie says 38 on the PC, 1 on console, and a Bremen Afied Murph. Brilliant! Hey, Captain Butters! Hey, Murph from Fireflies, just saw that I subbed for 3 years but couldn't get the notification to work. I don't believe you! Me and Adam have decided to go to the pub and then do a shared drunk cockpit flight later, or on Sunday. Thank you very much for the 3 years, man. Hope you're well. The compass card on the forward end of the flight panel. Cyrus, you're an absolute genius! Brilliant! Ah, brilliant! Canoehead 2, welcome in. He says 2 random historical Canadian facts. 1. The Irish dialect that still lives on Newfoundland, where immigrants from Wexford, Waterford, Tipperary and Kilkenny counties settled in the late 1700s and mid-1800s. Tipperary, can you imagine that? At one time, Newfoundland was 50% Irish. It's now 20% Irish. Jesus! Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Look at this. The wind must be absolutely baiting us out of it. Baiting us out of it. CDN Taz, thank you very much indeed. 40 months as well. Dude, thanks so very, very much. Look at this, lads. Beautiful. Absolutely friggin' beautiful. We got so many fighters along with us. Tornadoes, F-14s, Raphaels. Oh, yes. Are you liking the Tornado? There's Nighthawk in the 320. Dougal, did you get off the ground? Now, above 5,000 feet, we go ahead and we kill the owl APU. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go APU gen off. And let me see. APU itself off. APU air off. Engine air, bring them on. Does the PTU come off now? I think it does. So any warnings on the annunciator panel should now turn off. Speed is looking okay-ish. There's the APU warning, that's okay. We're passing flight level 130 on the way to 340. You had room to spare? Nice. Hemmingbird says, "Me grandma is 80% Irish. She's called Iris." I love it. I love it. Righto, I'm on my way. Nearly did a vertical takeoff in the Concorde. I don't know what the BJanie was happening there. I was terrifying. An airplane that tries to kill you is my type of airplane. Do you know what I mean? Love it, man. Love it. Okay. So far, so good. We're actually doing something right. So we are following along our flight plan. I have a whole load of notes now. We'll be chatting about the Bremen. Because tonight we're going to focus on 2 things. The flight itself, right? And then also the weather. So we've done a fairly detailed introduction about the Bremen. What was going on at the time, other notable flights. And last week we focused on the crew and also some of the navigation techniques, including navigating by the stars, also known as celestial navigation, right? Well, tonight we're going to learn about the flight itself. What happened? What went wrong or what went right? And then we're also going to learn a little bit, as I said, about the weather, because Met Éireann did a weather report, a historical weather report back in the day, and they were able to tell us what way the weather was going to be, which is pretty cool. Now, isn't there other stuff here? There is. There's loads of little click spots in this plane. They've done such an incredible job, right? Now, most important here, don't mind the passengers for a minute, but it's time to make some coffee. Or as I like to call it, coffee. So turn her on and give some hot water. And next you hear the sounds of the thing. So she's filling up hot water. We can see potable water up there. And then we'll stick it on brew. So Jemima is busy there now making the coffee. Right? Hemmingbird has subscribed. Tier 2, 9 months. I just refreshed and it's my anniversary. I thought my badge looked a bit different. Hemmingbird, thank you very, very much indeed. Very, very kind of you. Kanzui, you should have a new badge as well. Now, let me see. 75 knots on the noggin. Might call it breezy. Really? Is that what we're getting? Can I get weather information on this? No. No. Terrain display. Interesting. I have a new badge as well. Didn't notice that before now. There you are, lads. New badges. See? Here at Firefly Air, we laugh. Laugh at so-called headwinds. Ah, brilliant, Sterling. Brilliant. Right, we're doing well. Man alive, this is a beautiful, beautiful aircraft, isn't it? Ah, stunning. Contrails. So we're passing flight level 190 all the way up to 340. Look at all the jets we have with us, lads. This is only class looking. And we're way out to sea now. You know, 700 and odd nautical miles. But I'm thinking we might go down very low in a while. Just for the sheer crack of it. Do you know what I mean? That's a beautiful livery. Nice contrails. Well, thank you very much. In-flight meal ready to serve. Brilliant. I need to be careful. Me tooth is at me. Stupid thing. And I burnt me mouth. Right. Yeah, it's kind of... It's doing a thing, lads. Jesus, the last thing I need is a toothache. You'll never hear the end of it. You'll never hear the end of it, right? Brilliant. 6.8, but ground speed is 352. Nice. Okay, we're moving well. Just over flight level 20 and or 200. Live time and live weather, and I gotta say, lads, this is beautiful looking. I mean, look at that. Look at the state. They're soaring AJ over there. Look at the seats. He did the seats. Look. Don't wipe your mouth in that, or put your greasy heads on it, right? Except for me, because I believe in taking care of myself. I use product. You also have a sensitive face. Well, you can have my dentist spot on Monday. Thank you, Kaharia. Imagine if it, right? Hi. And who are you? And what are you doing here? I'm here to get me teeth checked, because they're in a terrible mess. Right, now, let's see. Climbing well, speed a little bit low. Can we put this up a little bit higher? Let me see.
What's wrong with your teeth?
I have a pain in my left tooth. Top left on the back. It's like a pain, it's like a sensitivity thing. I could need a filling. Or a bullet. I don't know. That's the last thing I need, Mr. Two-Tone. Imagine if you have to put up with me a burnt top in my mouth. I have a sore I won't give you the finger. I have a sore finger and then my tooth. Is that you playing the smallest violin in the world for me? I heard the best one ever. If you're looking for if you're looking for sympathy, where is it? It's in the dictionary. Between a set of words that are like terrible, you know. Yes, would you mind? The dentist pulled all me caps. Wait, the dentist put all caps on my teeth. Now I can't stop shouting. You sold the game. Gaming. Welcome aboard. Good to see you, man. Need 2 more engines? Uh-oh. Thank you, darling. Thank you.
No, you need to take 2.
Oh no, Jesus, one enough.
No, you need to
Oh no,
take
you'd knock me. Oh no, I couldn't take 2.
No, they're not strong. Just take 2.
Do you remember that song, It Takes Two?
Hey, shut up.
Kaharia gives you huggles. She says hi, Kaharia. Now. Right now. A tablet with gin. Yeah, it makes total sense. Hey! Hey! Right, anyway, let's keep flying. Nothing mad going to happen. My speed keeps dropping, so we better decrease the vertical speed here, friends. Yes. Stick it the nose downeth. It takes tooth. I see what you did. We could go VNAV. Indeed. Indeed. Right, okay. This is friggin' gorgeous looking. Look at the state of it. So, as I said, we're going to be learning a little bit more about the flight itself, right? And I have my notes. So, Section 4, the flight. So, Hunfeld and Cole, well, they took off from Berlin and landed in Baldonnel on the 26th of March, 1928. That's when they flew the Bremen over. £75 was paid to the owner of a field to take down a wall that separated the end of the runway and the field. They had to knock a wall down. Ah, brilliant. The welcome from the Irish Air Corps that Hunfeld and Cole received was second to none. They both expressed that the Irish people were so welcoming. The weather was incredibly bad. In Ireland, bad rain? What? Never. Fake news. The weather was incredibly bad, and Hunfeld said to explain how bad Irish rain one has to experience it. A steamroller was brought in to flatten the field, however this only pushed water on the surface. They received a good weather report on the 11th of April and decided that the next day was the best day that they could have hoped for, with meteorological conditions favourable for an initial 20 hours. Now, I happen to have the actual weather on the flight. Look at this. Check this out, lads, right? I know. Up here, look. So, the Meteorological Service, Met Éireann, internal memorandum, I don't know what it is. It was done by T. Keane in 1978. The weather and the first successful non-stop east-to-west transatlantic flight. Right. So, the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the Bremen flight, it was marked in Ireland in 1978 by a series of lectures, newspaper articles, seminars and films of the historic event. Although the original flight was planned as a wholly German undertaking, providing aircraft and crew, Captain Hermann Kohl and Baron von Hunfeld, Irish interest in the first flight was occasioned not only because an airfield near Dublin was chosen as a starting point, but also because a member of the Irish Air Corps, Commandant James Fitzmaurice, joined the flight in Dublin. He replaced another member of the original crew, who subsequently played an important part in the venture, acting as liaison officer and as co-pilot of the aircraft. This internal memorandum is mainly concerned with the meteorological aspects of the historic flight. So, the first successful non-stop flight across the North Atlantic took place in 1919. That was, of course, Alcock and Brown. They flew from west to east. Later, a westbound airship crossing took place in 1924 that went via the Azores, but the first westbound airplane flight occurred when the German monoplane Bremen took off from Baldonnel in County Dublin for New York. It made a forced landing on a place called Greenland Island, Newfoundland, on April 13th, 1928. Atlantic crossings by aeroplanes at that time were considered to be no more than mostly stunt flights, adding little or nothing to our knowledge. The expectations, it seems, included that Alcock and Brown's flight, the Lindenberg flight, and the first westbound crossing in the Bremen by Hunfeld. Okay, so it was mad. It was a mad thing to do, essentially. That's what they're telling us, right? Speed. Oh, chase command, Dougal! Oh, God! Only for you! Harry! Right, put the nose down, will you? Jesus, lads, I nearly... Right. Shh. It's fine. It's fine. Totally fine. Put the nose down and get that speed back up. I don't think it's going to like this. We're in a state of, like, critical angle. Look at you and your fancy jets bursting past us. Oh, Jesus, we're actually dropping altitude. I don't think this is going to like 34, but let's see what it can do, right? We'll get the speed back up and let's see what happens. The speed's barely moving. Yeah, I very seldom take the 145 over 29,000. Skill issue? Yes. That's okay, Winkelgasser. This is all part of the plan. It was to slow us down so everything would be grand, right? Speed is starting to recover a little bit and we're kind of half holding at around 31,000 feet. I don't like 340. Let's hold it at 30. Because I just ain't liking it, lads. So we're going to put in 30. Arm it. LNAV is already armed. And let me see. Let's go down the road. Get our speed back. You're not liking V-speed. Get me into V-speed. There we go. There we go. Oof. Our speed should start recovering. Meanwhile, our passengers are vomiting violently. Right? SimBrief always gives you too high an altitude for the 146 and the F-28. Step climb? Maybe. Maybe. Invoice to follow? Okay, we're starting to descend there. Jesus, Dougal, only for you I'd ended up in an absolute hoop. Right, moving on. Weather services in Baldonnel in the 1920s. Well, regular reporting of local weather conditions by telegraph from Baldonnel began all the way back. There's no refunds. They began all the way back in January of 1919. Baldonnel also acted as a local meteorological forecast centre until it was closed in April 1922, and then the duties transferred to Collinstown. Does anyone know where Collinstown is? Or what Collinstown is now called? These services were provided by British Air Force personnel. They terminated in the autumn of 1922 with the evacuation of the British forces from Ireland, and special features of the duties at Baldonnel were the collection of weather information and the issue of reports and forecasts in connection with flights between England and Ireland. After the formation of the new state in 1922, the Irish Air Corps was formed and based at Baldonnel. Local weather services were provided on a more informal basis. It doesn't appear that regular weather observations were made there from the time it was evacuated by the British until after the Irish meteorological services were established back in 1936. It's still called Collinstown, isn't it? So Collinstown, it is technically, but what airport is in Collinstown? I bet you wouldn't know. You'll never guess it. The provision of weather information at Baldonnel during the 1920s rested with Father Bill O'Riordan, chaplain to the Air Corps. The local chaplain, Father Bill O'Riordan. In the name of the... Right? You can imagine now on a Sunday morning, and the Lord said to him, low pressure coming in over the Atlantic. Winds will be moderate to gusting. Right. It's Dublin. Collinstown is Dublin. Mad, isn't it? And you also know there used to be an Irish Air Corps aerodrome in Tallaght in Dublin. There was one out in Tallaght as well. Mad. Anyway, he is reported to have made regular weather recordings as well as providing instruction on weather to the young cadets. In the interval between 1922 and 1937, however, while the British Meteorological Office continued to hold responsibility in operating the network of weather observation stations in Ireland at places like Malin Valencia and Roach's Point. It also supplied weather forecasts for the Irish public. Right? We'll go back to this now in a second. How are we doing now, plane? Oh, we're doing better. Right. Power management, and let's tidy up here. Let's go to MCT. Dial her back a little bit. And there is now our flight level 300. That's beautiful. Look at all the contrails. Isn't it gorgeous? It's gorgeous. Right, keep an eye on the speed there and let's see what happens, right? It was thus to the British Meteorological Office and crew who turned their advice for weather conditions over the North Atlantic when planning for the Bremen flight, right? What's now in Tallaght where the airfield used to be, Murph? Jacobs, Skibbo. I'm almost certain. Or, well, is it still Jacobs? Do you remember where the old Jacobs factory was? Heading up the Bellegarde Road. It was in there. I think. I could be wrong now, Gibbo. Could be the golf course either. Do you know what I mean? The Bellegarde Road. Do you remember Coco's? Do you remember? They knocked that. It's gone. There's people living where, you know... Oh, Jesus, the plane is giving out to me. Shh, shh. Slow it down there now, Jemima. Jesus, an auto throttle would be handy, wouldn't it? He sometimes doesn't follow the flight plans. Who needs them? Right, let's see here now. Easy. We're only slightly over the speed. Shh, shh. It's grand. It's grand, Jemima. It's grand. There we go. She's coming back now. Coming back now. Easy. Easy. Nearly there. She's there. Right, let's hold it there and see what happens. It's a lot going on in this airplane, isn't it? Brilliant. Right, anyway, in 1928, the British Meteorological Office, according to its annual report, supplied weather information to 6 transatlantic flights on projected flights. Chief amongst which was the first successful flight across the Atlantic from the east to the west by the Bremen flight out of Baldonnel. Commandant Fitzmaurice had been in regular touch by telephone with the British Meteorological Office during the period leading up to the flight. A special forecast was supplied on the evening prior to the commencement of the flight, and the probable conditions were discussed by telephone with Commandant Fitzmaurice. The Bremen was not fitted with a radio, so that no further weather services could be passed on en route. Right? Skycheck, good to see you. There's also a reason why you have to do takeoff roll with the APU running to increase takeoff power. That's mad, isn't it? So the development of international meteorology in the 1920s. Now, there's a lot of reading in this. I'm not going to read out at all. I just thought it was very, very interesting because this, you know, when we listen to an ATIS, for example, right? An ATIS, we kind of take it for granted. We're just like, oh yeah, that's interesting. It's brilliant. But like, Jesus, the history of it, I think, is quite interesting. Do you know? Anyway, we'll move this across so we can read it here, so we're not blocking up the whole page. Where are you now? So where was I? As early as 1919, some research on aeronautical meteorology resulted in the production of a series of charts showing the typical and extreme weather conditions in the North Atlantic during April, May and June. And in fact, these charts were published in newspapers and in 1919 prior to the Alcock and Brown flight. The type of information supplied by a forecast office to aircraft at the period consisted of wind at the surface and at 2,000 feet in altitude, weather in general, low cloud details, visibility, and then the state of sea, particularly local swell conditions at sea landing bases. This was of special interest to seaplanes. And of course, you would have had the Boeing Clipper and all this sort of stuff as well. All right. Soon after the First World War ended, the circulation of collective bulletins of European weather messages was resumed. A number of ships on the main North Atlantic routes also reported weather. What was the beep? Was that in the plane? Could have been in the plane. Now, conditions, from 1922 onwards, reports from about 30 weather stations on the North American continent were monitored by radio in France and rebroadcast to other countries from the Eiffel Tower. Now here's one for you, right? There was a telegram station in Valencia, in Ireland, down by Kerry, that was able to receive this information, and its job was to broadcast them further on to Paris. And then from Paris, using the Eiffel Tower, we should have beamed them back out to everywhere else. Fascinating stuff. But anyway, already at this date, it was possible to draw a rudimentary synoptic weather chart covering the North Atlantic and by using North American and European areas. By 1927, not only had communications improved, but the number of reports had increased considerably. 75 station reports from North America were sent to Europe twice daily, and weather messages came in from a dozen or so ships on the direct route from England to North America and a few other parts of the ocean. The British Met Office had been supplying meteorological information and forecasts for projected transatlantic flights since 1926. Amongst the arrangements for westbound flights introduced in 1927, A preliminary briefing took place on the meteorological conditions to be expected over the route, including the climatological frequencies of different wind speeds and direction. This briefing usually took place during the days preceding the start of the flight. And then 2, a special weather forecast was provided prior to the commencement of the flight. Special synoptic charts were prepared twice daily. During certain periods, a daily message was received by wireless from the United States Weather Bureau, giving conditions and forecasts for the area extending 40 degrees west to New York, i.e. the second half of the route. Dr. James Kimball, of the US Weather Bureau, was the American advisor on weather for all transatlantic flights for America, right? The aviation climate. During the early part of this century, the North Atlantic Ocean was considered the greatest natural obstacle which aircraft were confronted. The chief reasons for this was the distance from land to land, some 1,850 nautical miles, and the severe meteorological conditions liable to be encountered in the area. Westbound flights in particular suffered the greater disadvantage. So we can read on and get all the details, but I also have a video to show you here as well. So there's a chart here, it's showing you like the probable wind, look. So they give it to you from bearing, longitude, zone west, flight altitude, and what the wind is doing. Isn't it mad? But I suppose the point I'm trying to make, how basic the weather was. You know, if you were a pilot flying back then, sure Jesus lads, you had little or no information. Why isn't that moving? Get in there now. Look at that. So like flying from Ireland, you have a headache of flying against the wind. It's nuts, right? And if I go to, is it VentuSky? Check this out now, right? So if we look at the wind speeds here at the moment, even today, this is a live shot of the wind. Imagine if you had this back in the day. Now, you might say it looks all terribly calm. Well, that's only at 30 feet. Pardon me. If we go to 300 feet, not much. What if we go to 3,000 feet? Starting to tell a different picture, isn't it? There's knots. Now, the Bremen would have flown at roughly, anywhere between 1,000 and 3,000 feet. So you can see, as it's flying around the first half of the flight, or the first 20 hours, well, the winds were favourable because it wasn't a direct headwind. However, once they started coming over North America neck of the woods, now they're into the headwind. If I were to show you the wind conditions at, let's say, I don't know, some 30,000 feet, well, it's absolutely bonkers. And this is where you have like the jet lines or the jetways, yeah? So our flight tonight, and this is somewhat live, we took off here out of Greenland. We're currently getting it. We will get a tailwind. We're currently on a headwind. It'll turn into a tailwind. And then as we get down in towards Goose Bay, we're going to get, depending on our altitude, we're going to get a fairly decent tailwind as well. Now, if we want to have a quick check on what the wind is doing to our aircraft, at the moment, it's a headwind. Some 43 knots, right? But as we continue our flight, the whole thing will start getting a little bit nicer, Epic Fool is here with some information that I don't fully know. See, centenary of the handover of Baldonnel and Tallaght aerodromes, right? That was the officers' mess in Tallaght. In Tallaght, right? May 22, or 2022, sees the centenary of the handover of Baldonnel and Tallaght aerodromes from the British government to the Provisional Government of Ireland, right? Both Baldonnel and Tallaght were developed in 1917 as RAF training bases during the latter stages of World War I. Ireland was considered a safe place to train pilots, gunners and other air crews away from combat zones. Tallaght and Baldonnel were two of many airfields built at the time as part of a rapid expansion. Gormanstown and Collinstown, now Dublin Airport, were built in and around the same time. Tallaght Aerodrome occupied 231 acres on the Bellegarde Road, where Cookstown Industrial Estate now stands. No trace of the aerodrome now exists, but we were fortunate to have some photographs, the original plans and drawings which have survived. Look at that, lads. Jesus, I've never seen this. This is Tallaght. So grass runways, yeah, long before you had any of those. Tallaght was considered a safe place. First time for everything. Brilliant. This is fascinating. Look at the size of the camp. It was huge. It was absolutely massive. Jesus. Where is this now? That's Baldonnel. In October 1919, RAF HQ advised that Tallaght, Collinstown and Gormanston were to be closed. Baldonnel became the headquarters of the Irish Wing RAF until May 1922, when it was handed over to the Irish Air Service. By June 1922, the Air Service headquarters had been established at Baldonnel, and 14 pilots flew a total of 13 aircraft. In February 1965, Baldonnel was renamed Casement Aerodrome in honour of the Irish nationalist Roger Casement. Commander Freeze, thank you very much indeed for the bits. Good to see you, man. So do you see the hangar here, lads? And this is what's frightening about it. That hangar still stands. These were built as almost like a bit of a temporary setup, but those hangars still stand today. However, I think they've plans to knock them and rebuild them. So if that was over at Cookstown in Tala, right? Let's go in here now and do a bit of jiggery-pokery, right? Maps. Let's see, is there any sort of trace of it in Tala, right? So there's Dublin. So there's, right, let me see, Rackhool, and then we've Tala. So I suppose Cookstown, there's Cookstown now. There's the square. Is Cookstown over here? Oh, wait, hang on. We go to Bellegarde Road, right? So if we're coming up the Nace Road, there's the Bellegarde Road. There's the Bellegarde Road. So here's Bellegarde. That's what the golf course is now. Jacobs was over here. So they're saying Cookstown. So here's Cookstown. So this is what it looks like today. So I would hazard a guess, lads. I would hazard a guess where B&Q is. And there was that used to be Jacobs here, look. That used to be Jacobs. Yeah, Cookstown Industrial Estate. So this is Cookstown. But you can see the makeup here. If we go back to that article that Epic Fool sent me, and fair play to you for finding that, Epic. That's brilliant. If you look back here at the picture, that's the original Bellegarde Road, look. That's the original Bellegarde Road. So let's have a look to see, is the shape even in it, right? So, hang on now. Would we say that's the road bending that way? I would think so. Yeah? You see that? So that makes sense, meaning that right at the base of the turn here, where the road starts to straighten up, which would be here, that's where the camp was, which would have been in here. That's mad, isn't it? So you're talking somewhere in here. So any of the fields here, look, now they're probably full of horses now, do you know what I'm saying? But any of the fields here, or especially where any of these buildings were, and like you can jump down and have a look, like to see the place now, it's so incredibly different. It's all completely built up on. So they built a hospital and everything behind it. Do you know what I mean? That used to be where Jacobs is, but sure, it's all knocked now, I think. And if we go further down, like across the road, all here, like, that's mad, lads. So that looks as if that was the original site of Tala Aerodrome. Isn't that friggin' mad? And am I right in saying that? Do you agree with what I'm saying? See the way you can kind of see the road bending? And you can see the road bending? I mean, I'd say that's got to be it, right? I could be terribly wrong, but I don't think so. Look at the inner road here now as well. And if we have a look, there's that inner road there, look. So they built them on old foundations. Isn't it mad? I love seeing things like this. Like if you look at any of the aerial photographs in the United Kingdom, or even in Germany now, where World War II air bases were, and you can see these things a friggin' mile off. I mean, you can see, Jesus, there was even, look how close they would have been. There's Baldonnel, look. Baldonnel is just there, and Tala was just here. They were right beside each other. That's nuts. But like, if you ramble over to, as I said, you go to the south of England there, right? There's Exeter. Come up the road here, and we say, up here, Dunkswell. So here's like, well, Dunkswell is still active. What's the other one? Here we go, look. Pottery. This is no longer an airfield, but we can look down on Pottery and say, well, look, it's definitely an airfield. It used to be, and this is from World War II. Anyone who watched Band of Brothers, well, Pottery was the base of where a lot of the 101st Airborne departed from, mainly Easy Company and so on. But there's other airports as well. As I said, we were flying with Splasher 6 one night, and we happened to find an old place, an old airport. I'm almost certain it was there. RAF, what's that? Northampstead? Or Hampstead? Not Hampstead. This is obviously no longer an airport. But there was satellite images during a heat wave in England. Identified a ton of previously forgotten about airports. Isn't that mad? And then, as I said, if you go on to ramble into Germany and parts in France, you'll see some incredible stuff. Oh, Gibbo, look at that for the picture. Where's that? View from the hangar at Talle. That's an amazing picture. Look at that, lads. Look at that's fascinating to me. Like, I grew up in Baldonnel. I was born and raised in Baldonnel. So to think that they had something in Talle just across the way, that's absolutely crazy. Crazy, so it is. And how do we... There we go. Now we also have some pictures here. Oh, look at this, look. Society. Murph, have a look at this. Talle, Dublin, Talle, Dublin. Yeah, that's what it looks like, isn't it? That's the spot there, man. That's the spot there. Oh, look, you have overlaid the original airport. Ah, brilliant. That's fantastic. The black buildings are the original airport. You see that, lads, on the screen? How friggin' nuts is that? This is news to me. This is brilliant. I'm loving this. It's fascinating because there's no trace of it to this day. Oh, exactly. That's brilliant, man. Well done for finding that. That's class, lads, isn't it? Commander Freezer, we're flying from Greenland over to Canada, eh? Over to Canada. Oh, man, that is so cool. News to me, and it's 15 minutes away, right? And I knew there was always something out in Talle, but not like that. I didn't think it was anywhere near the scale of Baldonnel. Looking at those pictures, this was way bigger than Baldonnel. Talle was friggin' way bigger than Bal. So you have, you have 3 major hangars. This one here would have been engineering. You have the main block coming in, admin, logistics, or whatever else they had. These would have been quarters or billets, perhaps, down this neck of the woods. And there would have been grass airfields. Like, if you look at Casement Aerodrome today, right? Where's my map? So if we look at Baldonnel, right? Go back over here. Here's Baldonnel today. And if you have a look at the way the layout of the airfield is, well, you had 4 hangars, but these 2 were quite small. And then they went off and they built this new hangar. That was built, I suppose, 20 years ago now. They put in the new hangar. And this is a fairly recent picture because they have the PC-12s there, look. Pilatus PC-12s, lads. Ooh and ah. Right? So you can see the makeup of it. So in Baldonnel itself, you can see the old buildings that they're still there to this day, right? They hardly have dropped the little man in. They don't. And you know what's frightening here, lads? Because when I went to Duxford, it was like I was at home. It was like I was at home, right? So when you walk down this road here and the hangars are on your right and you had all the tech workshop buildings and so on and so forth on your left, well, Duxford is the exact same. Because the British used blueprints for, okay, it needs to be an airfield or an aerodrome to this specification. Here's the blueprints. Go off and build it somewhere in the Empire. That's the way they worked. And it's fun. They did the same at army barrackses. That's so cool. I didn't think they had this sort of coverage in Baldonnel. That's nuts. So I'll give you a grand tour, right? Coming in the main gate, the main block. This has changed over the years. Here's the main hangars. This is the spot right here. Do you see that little diamond thingy on the ground? That's the Bremen Memorial. That's where the plaque is for the Bremen. And before they had tar runways or tarmac, right?
Oh, behave.
Oh, behave. What's happening? Willow, how much? Thank you for the bits. The Bremen was pretty much here where the plaque is, and it took off from there, straight out. It went straight out. And the wall they're talking about that they knocked would have been down here. Because there used to be a house down here before, Schenker and Amazon and all these lads built all their warehouses. These are all new, by the way. And if you kind of look at the makeup of Baldonnel and you compare it to Dublin Airport, right? Can I ask, where are you better watching the stream, says Vulcan. Vulcan, it depends, man. Either or. They're all at the same time. So as we're looking at Baldonnel, well, this is the scale. So you had 4 hangars back in the day. The original main gate was actually over here. This was the main gate. Not what we see here now, you know, the guard room and the main block. This here used to be the main gate. Which is just nuts, right? It's nuts. There's the church. We all know the church. That's Jeppesen built all this for us, right? And if you come down further down here, this is the officer's mess. And I used to live in this gaff right here. That was our house. That's where we lived. And can we get another view on that? Yeah, that's it there. That's me old house. Ah, that's mad, isn't it? And there used to be a barn. I used to play in the barn back here. But like, this is what I'm telling you, right? Sitting in my sitting room, which was here at the back of the house, and we had windows. There was a window looking out that way, right? The trees weren't there. I could see from my sitting room window. That's a squash court. Well, look straight across, right? That's new. That wasn't there. Oh, Jesus. Look straight across and see the runway. Like, that was the distance. I can see from my sitting room, living room window straight up and onto the runway. It was cool. Merv, 2 questions. Like a barracks, do they sleep on site at Bal? Yes, they do. And how much is a pint there? I think a pint is 380, Gibbo. Last time I checked, it was around 380. But yeah, like Baldon, it's an operational airbase. It's still up and running. And the role of the Irish Air Corps.
Jesus.
The role of the Irish Air Corps is aid to civil power, supporting the Gardaí. They do a bit of search and rescue, and so on, right? They do army support now as well. That's a new role. So the likes of the Pilatus aircraft, they have 2 brand new Kazas. The Kaza C295 Irish Air Corps. Do you guys ever see these? These are absolutely stunning. So Kaza, a Spanish manufacturer, yeah? Airbus, essentially. They replaced the older Kazas. The Air Corps bought 2 of these, and they use them for maritime patrol. Europe pays Ireland a whole load of money to go off and do maritime patrol, keeping an eye on illegal fishing, you see? Unhorsed Goose, the finest scenery for Baldonnel is freeware, and it's created by Jeppesen 2001. Both of them are lovely until someone dented one of them. Well, here's the thing, Epic. Do you remember the blue ones? The CN235s. And I know the pilot. He hit trees by me mate's gaff landing a Kaza there one year, and they put stabilizers on the plane for him and everything. It was hilarious, right? Hilarious. But they're the new Kazas that they have, C295, and they are absolutely stunning. They're beautiful. And the Air Corps have changed their livery colours and all this jazz. But they're a remarkable aircraft. That's a picture of one there now inside in the hangar. Look. Politicians, you gotta love them. Do planes cost a fortune? Planes cost a fortune. Right? That's what he says. But yeah, you can see it inside there in the hangar. It's awesome. It's pretty cool. But yeah, man, I mean, look at that. This brings you back. So, that's nuts, man. You can see the layout of Baldonnel, and like, it's a carbon copy. If you look at Duxford, now Duxford is a lot more built up. Way more built up, right? Jefferson says, need to add a static 295 for the BAL update. Whoop the yard. If we were to look at Duxford, Cambridge, London, Stevenage, Stansted, up here a bit, Bury St Edmunds, Chelmsford, Duxford. Where's Duxford, lads? Jesus, look at the size of that place. That's all closed down now. Duxford is up the road here, isn't it? Let me see. Duxford, here we go. So if you look at the hack at Duxford, right? Oh, they don't have 3D view. But you get the idea, look. Do you see the same hangar layout? Your 4 hangars, right? And then as you come in, okay, your main block and buildings are here. But look at the gap down by the hangars and the buildings beside it. Like that's so like Baldonnel, it's frightening. It's frightening. Do you know, it's the same layout. It's the same type of buildings. And like even the build, okay, they're camouflaged there because, you know, it's a museum and all the rest, yeah? Down here further a little bit. Like, the hangars are the exact style of building that's still in Baldonnel. They were the very same. They were built all over the shop. So that's Duxford. Again, there's an awesome freeware scenery for Duxford. But when you're looking at both of them and you compare the kind of the layout of them, do you know what I mean? When you compare the layout of them, it's the same idea. There's your hangars, right? Now, you can't drop the little man in here because, as I said, this is an active facility. But you get the idea. And there used to be a lot more buildings here. There used to be 2 big massive water tanks here. And that aerial is new. Jesus, that's very new. Why did they put that up? That's new, right? And do you know what? This is probably all blurred out, which is so strange. They've blurred out that view, but yet, you know, I mean, you can... Anyway, we're still waiting on the Germans to invade. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's class the way that's there. It's fantastic that that's there. It's awesome, isn't it? Same era, yeah. Your old house window lies 2,900 feet or over half a mile from the runway. Yeah, yeah. But you can see straight across. I remember when I am not here. When Bill Clinton came to Ireland back in... Jesus. When did Bill come over? 97 or something, or 95, right? President Clinton flew to Ireland. I was not there. He, I'll never forget it. We were in a sitting room. It was like a scene out of Black Hawk Down. Because, like, everything started shaking. You know, glasses, plates, all the J's. What the hell is this? And it was all, you know, Black Hawks and Chinooks flying in. That was like the advanced security party before he flew in. It was unbelievable. 40 Humble, right? And then the air shows that used to be in Baldonnel as well. It was class. Class. But what makes this story I'm telling tonight even more incredible to me is the fact, well, Fitzmaurice lived in the house I lived in. It's kind of mad, isn't it? The same officers' mess, the same Bremen bar. The officers' mess in Baldonnel is called the Bremen bar. The airmen's mess is called the Propeller Club. The NCO's mess is called the NCO's mess. But the officers' mess is called the Bremen bar. And if you look on our Discord, well, we have our Bremen bar. That's where it comes from, right? That's where all that comes from, which is mad. Mark B, hello, Twitch. Welcome in. So we're cruising on here nicely. I want to show you a little video. Wait now. Did I close off all of that stuff? You're such a muppet, Murphy. I want to show you a video. But I'll show you that now in a second. Where's my notes? So we were here, right. So they decided that April 11th, we're going to go flying the next day. They decided that on the 11th of April. So that night they spent several hours in the officers' mess with the Irish and they enjoyed a few glasses of stout. Cole, perhaps one too many stouts. They were very late to bed and they were all up at 3:45 a.m. and headed to the mess for breakfast, which consisted of eggs, bread and butter and tea, and the fruit was intended for breakfast was put on board the aircraft for consumption after takeoff. The Bremen was glinting in the dawn light between the large hangars. Having heard rumours of the daring endeavour, crowds began to gather at Ireland's Baldonnel Aerodrome and cheered wildly, splashing holy water as the Bremen, a German Junkers W-33 aircraft, loaded to a weight of 5 tons and 520 gallons of petrol. The president of the Irish Free State, President W.T. Cosgrave, came to see the 3 men off, along with many others. At 04:55, they climbed into the aircraft. Flags lined the runway, and at 05:10, the propeller was turned upon the third free. It started. They put the engine on, and it ran normal at 1,375 RPM. Both magnetos were tested. Cole and Fitzmaurice checked on their fingers, they didn't have any sore fingers, whether all the valves were set correctly and whether the gasoline tanks were full. Blocks away was called, then Cole pressed the gas lever forward. She started slowly and then quicker. The Bremen went, she tried to swerve left and right at the beginning, then they ran it straight along the small flags. They had to dodge a sheep. The Bremen needed a speed of about 130 kilometers to lift. The first 400 metres of the runway was slightly uphill, but it's still too heavy to take off. After where they had the wall taken down, there is another 700 metres and liftoff happened at 5:38 a.m. Cole writes to Fitzmaurice, another 50 metres more and it would have been fatal. Galway, which they had planned to sight, is covered in fog, so all they can see is the steeple of a church. At 7:05, the Bremen flies past Slinehead Lighthouse in County Galway, started across the Atlantic and headed for Mitchell Field, Long Island, New York, whilst maintaining an altitude of 1,500 feet and a speed of 120 miles per hour. At 9 o'clock, the crew started their first meal aloft. Hot bouillon and sandwiches were the recipe of the day, and Cole flew for the first 2 hours, then Fitzmaurice took over. During the first 10 hours, Cole and Fitzmaurice relieved each other every 2 hours, and then every 1 hour they took turns in sleeping. They had some heavy wind, so they flew at an altitude of just 10 to 20 metres over the quiet, dark blue waves. The engine gave a sputter, and they had to throttle down, but it seemed fine after a few minutes. Possibly the mixture was too lean. The hours passed, seemed to fly all by herself, the Bremen. They hardly had to touch the controls. At 13:45, they estimated they had crossed the 30 degrees meridian west. Speed was still over 170 kilometres per hour, and they had lunch, which consisted of the same sandwiches and bouillon, and also some fruit and chocolate. At 1600, the wind began to freshen up, and Fitzmaurice took a curve and Cole threw down 2 smoke bombs which showed its blowing direction in a northwesterly direction. They used smoke bombs to identify the direction of the wind, right? They flew then at a higher altitude, somewhere between 500 and 600 metres. They had to dodge different patterns of rain. They skimmed the edges of patches in which sleet and snow lashed the waves, and at 1700 hours they had tea, dinner, which consisted of chocolate, fruit and even more sandwiches. Around this time they noticed another change in the wind and directed their course 15 degrees north. They dropped altitude, flying within just 30 feet of the water. The checking of the gasoline supply was of the most important, as the gauges were not good. They didn't register correctly. 14 tanks of fuel had been on board, enough for 44 hours of flying, some 520 gallons. They could use fuel from 2/3 of a tank at each time. They had to pump by hand sufficient gas into the gravity tank to fill it up again. At around 2100, the glowing stripe the sun had painted on the water was cut off and was replaced by heavy clouds. If they flew over the clouds, they would encounter icy fog. Cole estimated they were about 3 hours away from land. If they could have stayed on course, they would have been correct. However, they flew into the clouds at an altitude of some 2,000 metres. Trouble. Pelting rain beat down on the windows. The machine trembled and all her parts, the wings vibrated, the bend of the rubber received shocks and incredible vibrations. It was a fight for life and death as the gale kept on like this for hours, with Fitzmaurice and Cole realising that the Bremen was fit for battle. The main thing they needed to do was keep on their compass course as it swung and shook under each terrible gust. It was not easy to keep on course. They were often thrown some 30 degrees at a time. Hours before they had opened the reserve oil tank and let fresh oil flow into the motor, now the tank was registering to a point that they would have to refill the oil. Fitzmaurice knew they were losing oil, which had been seeping through along the axle of the revolution indicator and had drizzled down the instrument board and collected under the pilot's seat. They agreed they had to get to land as quickly as possible. It was now night, and the electric lights on the compass started to grow dimmer as they had to use flashlights, torches, which had become increasingly hard to stay on course. With the heavy cloud and fog, they realised it would be too hard to make out a lighthouse, and they knew that their intention to reach Mitchell Field was thwarted. Suddenly, they could see light in breaks in the fog. They knew that they were stars, so they climbed. Soon they had a sky above them with stars. They flew by the stars, locating the polar star, Polaris, or the North Star. This is where celestial navigation came in. And remember, both Herman Cole and Fitzmaurice trained on nighttime flying. One of the first nighttime flyers. At 0605, they saw the polar star again. Fitzmaurice then estimated their magnetic compass was in error by some 40 degrees. Cole immediately turned southwest to follow the east coast of North America towards Mitchell Field, which was then some 1,500 miles to the south. The fog and cloud eventually lifted, and they saw land with great forests of white and mountains. They were of the opinion that they were over the American continent, but exactly where, they had no idea. In order to minimise the adverse effect of a strong southerly wind, Cole descended into a river valley, and he flew at an altitude of just 10 feet. 10 feet. At 1400 hours, the Bremen passed over lakes. The crew saw no one on the ground, but people on the ground spotted the plane. At 1500 hours, they believed they were over Labrador, and they were seen flying over the Northwest River on the shore of Lake Melville. They estimated that they were now running low on fuel. They had consumed more trying to fly back through the heavy fog and the storms. At 1750, they spotted an island with a lighthouse and a house, and next to it, some small buildings. They broke through the fog and the cloud, and they circled around the island. Touchdown. The Bremen settled down gently, but did not roll the ice. It didn't roll, but the ice then broke, and she tipped forward and stood on her head. The crew were thrown forward. Cole took a bang to the head. Others were unhurt. They climbed out, and they were told they were actually in Canada on Greenland Island, on the Strait of Belle Isle, which separates the island from Newfoundland, from Labrador and Quebec on the mainland. In the wind, they straightened the Bremen, intended to salvage her, stood with her wheels half in water, and they used ropes to pull her to land, but the right axle was broken as they tied it down using stronger ropes. The first transoceanic east to west flight was behind them. It would be a few days waiting on a new axle and indeed a propeller for them to continue their journey. The surprised islanders helped the crew to safety, calling upon a local nurse who arrived by dog sled. The plane was secured, and the heroes were invited to dine with the lighthouse keeper and his family. Help came from several aviators, including Floyd Bennett and Bernd Balchen. Floyd Bennett, the first aviator to fly to the North Pole, well, he was in hospital in Detroit when the call from help came in. He flew with Balchen, but his condition worsened during the rescue, and he later died in hospital in Quebec. So he was very sick in hospital. He was in a hoop. He's pressing buttons, and he wanted to go up and help them, and he actually passed away. It was his aircraft that came up. From Quebec, Duke Schiller, Canadian pilot, and Dr. Louis Cuisinier, a French ace, left in a Canadian Transcontinental Airways aircraft for Greenland Island, and they returned with Fitzmaurice.
Oh, Jesus.
They returned with Fitzmaurice to meet Miss Junkers. Cole and Hunfeld stayed behind. From Manhattan flew Herta Junkers to Murray Bay to meet Fitzmaurice. She was the daughter of Professor Junkers, the plane's builder. They brought with them equipment to repair the disabled Bremen. And then we go into, well, what happened next? So the flight is complete.
Oh, Jesus.
They've landed, and what's going on with all the Jesuses? Jesus.
Oh,
The thing is like freaking out. Can normal people do that? I don't know.
Oh,
The alert is shagged. He's after breaking it. Stop pressing on, Jesus! He's breaking it. Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Dougal, have you been drinking?
I have, Ted.
Jesus.
I've been drinking like a mad idiot.
Ah, Jesus. Hang on a second.
Jesus.
Well done, lads. Oh, yeah, well done. Now, hang on, can I...
Jesus.
Look at this big idiot.
How do you press... Right, now, grand, I think it's sorted. God almighty. Isn't that mad, though? Isn't that a mad story? So they did all the flying part, and well, everything went well, you know, until it didn't. So what I have here, lads, I have a bit of a video. We looked at a bit of this last week, but I want to show you, we continue on where we left it, right? So we'll pop it up here. We shall pop it up here, put it on the gadget.
They've done studies, you know.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Now, if we can do this right, you know, without the, Jesus, we'd be grand, right? So if I do, let me see, if I do something like this, look. Very sophisticated now. Look at the state of this. If I do something like that. Look at the amount of planes around us. This is absolutely cool, look. Right? So do something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
And we'll get our camera over there, right? And let me see here now. If I can bring up this little gadget, we'll go over here. Yes. And we're going to play this on. I want you to have a look at this, right? And if I press these buttons, that should do the trick there now. I'm going to press this.
As many others had died, even as recently as 4 weeks before.
Now, how can I turn that into audio? Because I'm only getting stereo mode, mono. Give it a second.
Of insurance to provide for his wife and daughter, Violet and Patricia, and even whether he should wear his uniform on the flight. All of these problems were solved when Senator Oliver St. John Gogarty, surgeon, writer and a flyer himself, persuaded the government to give Fitz an official letter of greeting for President Calvin Coolidge. So now, let's look back to the morning of the flight, April 12th, 1928.
And yes, lads, that is the actual Bremen, and that is the actual recording of that very morning. Mad. Now, Gerald, tell us what sort of weather conditions lay ahead of the flyers back then as they flew out into the Atlantic over Galway Bay?
You know, we get so used to looking at weather maps nowadays that we have really a vast amount of information available to us, and there was nothing like that back then. I mean, nowadays we have satellite imagery and radar imagery. If we look even at this here, we have this is a radar shot. It shows us where the rainfall is occurring right over Britain and Ireland at any time and out into the Western Atlantic too. So there's a vast amount of information. Over here we have what's now familiar to us all as the weather map showing the isobars on the fronts. Now this is made up from satellite imagery and also from thousands of weather readings that taken from, as you see here, most of Europe and a fair amount of the North Atlantic. But back then they had hardly any weather readings from the whole of the Atlantic. So it was very, very different looking at a weather, even the current weather, let alone the forecast weather back then, as it is now.
And of course nowadays, Gerald, a modern jet takes...
Just to kind of put perspective in it now, this was only recorded last night. This is how Ireland actually looks today. Fact.
6 hours to reach America, whereas back then it took a day and a half.
A day and a half, so really what they were looking for was a 2-day forecast. Difficult enough at the best of times.
Okay, let's go and have a look at what the weather was actually like back in 1928.
We'll do that now. Now we have here the weather chart for the day that the Bremen took off. Now, takeoff conditions were very pleasant. There was light winds only over Ireland and Britain, and as they headed out into the Atlantic, this was only a slack area of low pressure. No great problem there. This area of nasty weather well to the south. Then as they approached Newfoundland, they had this very strong stream of cold air sweeping out of the Labrador Sea. You can see the isobars packed tightly together that meant strong winds, and that buffeted the aircraft quite a bit. But that wasn't the only problem, because here, this is what we call a ridge. That's an area of very light winds, and that, in course, drifted up here to the eastern boundary of Canada, and with it, lots of warm air sweeping up here and cold seas meant fog in this area. Very disorientating. They were partially flying through visible means, because getting close to the magnetic North Pole, their compasses wouldn't have been much use to them, very unreliable at that stage. Now, I'd be very worried if an aircraft like the Bremen went off course over Labrador.
And indeed, their worst fears were realised halfway into the flight, as night fell and the weather changed dramatically. Baron von Hunefeld later recalled.
A storm was rising to such fury that the Bremen was making little forward progress. Mountains of black storm clouds stretched ahead of us from 20,000 feet down to sea level, with no way through, and the furious sea just below sought to tear us asunder.
This was one of the great epic flights without a doubt. Having got lost in the fog and storms over the desolate wastes of Labrador, with fuel running low, after 36 hours in the air, the Bremen had to land. They didn't reach New York as hoped, but set the plane down safely on Greenland Island, just off the coast of Newfoundland. The lighthouse keeper, Johnny Letemplier, and his family were the first people to greet the exhausted flyers, and their first priority was to telegraph the world with the wonderful news that the Atlantic had been finally conquered by air in both directions. Over on the Quebec mainland, at Blanc-Sablon, Alfred Cormier ran the local Marconi radio telegraph station. He quickly sent the news down the wire to the waiting world.
They did try to fly the Bremen south to New York, but the undercarriage collapsed as it tried to take off from the ice. But that did not diminish their achievement. Herta Junkers and Charles Lindbergh were just two of the very many famous flyers who flew north to greet the airmen.
They had great courage in those days, I think, to fly the Atlantic. It was considered a very brave thing to do. There's no doubt about that, because their equipment was very primitive, and they didn't know what weather they were going to meet. They had a vague idea of what it was possibly like the day before over in the East Coast, but the chances are they were going to run into bad weather somewhere along the 1,700-mile trip. And the Atlantic is the Atlantic. It's a long, long haul there for a single-engine aeroplane. Coming the other way with a tailwind, it's still being done with single-engine machines, but with much more equipment and everything to help them along their way. But in those days, it was very skilled navigation, whoever was navigating to fetch up so close to that track, and a great deal of courage right along the line.
There was no question about it. He flew in that aircraft knowing, as he must have known, the chances that he was taking in flying across the Atlantic. In a small aircraft, 2.5 tons of fuel up in it, all sorts of problems of communication, no radio, and the only way they could communicate with each other was passing a bit of, on a stick back to von Hohenfeld in the back cockpit, and passing notes to themselves, because the noise of the aircraft and the noise of the wind and the must have been pretty extreme. So it showed great courage in Fitz. Never any question of lack of physical courage.
President William T. Cosgrave sent Fitz a telegram to the crew of the Bremen, and particularly to yourself as an officer of the Irish Air Force. I tender my heartiest congratulations on sharing the first flight from Europe to America. Your achievement will go down in history, and Ireland is proud of your conquest of the air. So the three flyers, Fitzmaurice, Cole and von Hunefeld, using every means of transport at their disposal, headed south to warmer latitudes. His wife Violet and his 6-year-old daughter Patricia had arrived by ship from Ireland, so New York was the first of many cities to give the flyers a hero's welcome.
Isn't it only mad? It's absolutely mad. So next week we'll focus on the aftermath of when, you know, the flight was complete and how they all got on, right? And the hoolie that they had afterwards, right? But Brilliant. Marv, little trivia for you. Newfoundland instead of Jesus, they say. And you must say it the way it was spelled. Newfoundland. Yeah. Whereas next week, so we're going to go from... multiplayer just turned off. Microsoft multiplayer didn't work. Fake. Oh, no, it's back. Never mind. Crisis averted. Yeah, so what we're doing next week, we're going to be flying from Goose Bay down to Greenland Island itself. That's what's happening next week. But isn't it fascinating? And like what's mad, right? Ireland is such a small, little, insignificant little island, right? And yet we were involved in something so great like that. I think that's absolutely incredible. And of course, you know, Germany at the time, I mean, this is just after the First World War, you're leading into the Second World War, and yet you have these mad adventurers. Yeah, we'll do it. Go on, why not? Like, it's incredible. And how, you know, how a movie has not been made about these three guys or the very flight itself. Like, it has everything. It has the drama, the action sequence, you know, the emotion. It has the sandwiches. It has the whole shag and knot, lads. Incredible stuff, you know. But yeah, so how are we getting on now? We're doing all right. We're near our waypoint, Dory, and let's have a quick look in here. So we've about 200-ish nautical miles to go. We're not far out here, man. Even though we're far out, we will see land here shortly. And isn't it mad? Like, they would have been roughly around this neck of the woods, not too far from Titanic, really. Titanic was over here, wasn't it? They would have been up this neck of the woods because their compasses failed, right? And the weather and the wind. I mean, we see that when even in the sim, when you get a gust of wind, your airplane completely gets thrown around the place. It's mad, right? It's mad. Imagine what they had. One single instrument. There was no gyros back then. It was magnetic. And as you fly closer to the North Pole, which at the pole, you know, the magnetic variation is a real thing. You go miles off. Did any of them write a book? MDA, they did. This here, the book is titled The Three Musketeers of the Air. And it's by the pilots themselves, Herman Cole, James Fitzmaurice, and Gunter von Hunfeld. And this book that I have here, Mr. Two-Tone got me this. This is a first edition, would you believe it, lads? All the way back from 1928. It was printed by, G.P. Putnam and Sons, right? Let me see here now. New York. And it was the Knickerbocker Press. Right? And it's absolutely fascinating. And, like, it smells and looks and feels like a book from 1928. I have the first edition of the German book. Wow, Knights Ep. That's awesome. Yeah, Mr. Chewton got me this, and Gibbo got me something deadly as well. Look at this, look. Gibbo got me this because he's a legend, and it's it was the special edition coin to mark the event as well. And the coin, it's in protective covering. The coin goes all the way back to the event as well, right? So the 13th of April, 1928, von Hunfeld, Herman Cole, and James Fitzmaurice. And it's a German coin. And it has that of the Bremen. I don't know how well you can see that. That's it there. This camera over here might do it better. And So Gibbo got me this, and I have the book, and I have a pair of goggles, and I actually have a bit of a bit of the Bremen itself, which I can't tell you where I got that from, but I have it. Right, brilliant. So yeah, it's just fascinating to me because like no one had done it before them, and how put the goggles on immediately. I have goggles as well. Did you see the goggles I have? Now, these are not from the Bremen, but they're from the same era. Look. Right.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus. These are me granddad's flying goggles. He was in the Air Corps. How old are these? I say it on it. Patent registered. They were made in England. And they're 1920s stuff. The real deal. 1920s stuff. Nuts, lads. Nuts. So they live over there as well. They live on the shelves of many things. Which is there behind me, look. You'll see some over here. Where's the button? Is it this one? Don't mind me head. They live on that shelf over there. All the stuff of the Bremen lives there. Because they're my shelves of many things, you see. Ah, how are you? That's where I live, look. But yeah. Isn't it mad? They told you it was a bit of the Bremen. It's probably part of an old Skoda. The Murph Cave has some cool stuff. Oh, it does. Has some really cool stuff. Excelsior, right? There is an Excelsior back there. Look at the name tags. Jesus. The amount of name tags we have flying. Look at this, lads. Isn't it incredible? Look at the amount of people flying with us. Loving this. But yeah, it's incredible. I have some pretty cool stuff. Did I enjoy Masters of the Air? Yeah, it was really, really good. Bucket of bolts. Yeah. It's I got my great uncle's World War II yellow shaded Ray-Bans. No way, Digital Mark. That's awesome. Hey, Anthony D92 is here. Good to see you. Do you use leather wax on them? I don't touch them because I don't want to break them. The goggles do nothing. It's mad, isn't it? They fell off the back of a lorry, yeah? Shh, Gibbo, shh. Right? Which shelf does all your makeup live? What are you talking about? Brilliant.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, look, right. Don't mind the back of my head, but I gave you the tour in here before, right? You can't see it here, but there's a Concorde up on top of that shelf. A Lego Concorde. You can't see it, look. And I've all me I've all my cups up there. So you can see the crack there now, look. So all my cups are up there. And there's a Lego Concorde up there. That, you know, took ages to... Oh, yeah, look, my finger! Wait. Oh, Jesus, get the angle right. Look! Didn't I tell you the thing was only sore? Look at it, it's going to fall off, look. But anyway, that's where... oh, Jesus, that's where they all live. Yeah, baby, yeah. Right? That's where they live. Get down, you devil.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. Right? There's something happened to it, waiting to tell you. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
I've a C47 there that Scott got me. We've Ecto 1, couple of models. The second shelf is all me Bremen stuff and Air Corps stuff. Then I've another shelf down there. Move your head, Murphy. I've a Formula 1 car and a mixer. I've a Twitch partner thing in my jiggy. And I have a hat. I've loads of stuff in here. Loads of stuff. But yeah, that's where all that stuff lives. Right. Oh, jeez, my hand. I can't see anything without the mallet head in the way. Oh, Jesus. Keep an eye out for infection. Puncture wounds can be nasty. I reckon it is infected. It is infected, I'd say. It's grand. It's all right, lads. We'll make it through the night. But, yeah, I just, you know, the flight of the Bremen, to me, it's a fascinating story. And it has everything in it. It has everything in it, do you know? And, you know, this is the 96th anniversary of the flight. In 4 years' time, it's the 100th anniversary. I don't know. If I start writing to the Air Corps now, Jesus, lads, then if you're doing a reenactment for the 100th anniversary, would you mind taking me along with you? You know, there's actually a very good historical club up in Portlaoise, up the road, and they have the Fitzmaurice Museum, if you like. Do you know? Because he used to live in Portlaoise. But yeah, it's pretty cool. In Irish underworld circles, in Irish underworld circles, he's known as Fingers Murphy. That's a great crime boss name, isn't it? But is that Land Ho?
Oh, Jesus.
Land Ho! We can see Canada. Ah, this is brilliant. Look at the state. Isn't it gorgeous looking? Look at that Vulcan. Holy mother of Jesus. So next week, we're going to be flying in the C-160 Transall. Again, we have another livery that I'll show you during the week for that aircraft. And as I said, this Bremen flight, you know, usually I do it in the first blast. We do it in one flight. But for this, I thought it'd be kind of cool. Just break it up over a few weeks. Because I know, like, everyone's time schedules are different, right? We don't always have the chance to sit down and do a long flight. So that was the idea of doing it this year, week by week. And again, I'm using airliners only because of the length. And, like, you can sit in a fighter jet, but, like, well, we'll see. But we're serving two purposes here. Not only are we flying along with the Bremen, but you'll notice that we are strategically locating ourselves in North America because, well, we're awaiting the release of an aircraft that's going to fly us back across the pond, and that's going to be the Boeing 777. So that's what our plan is. So when we finish up with the Bremen flight next week, we'll then park it there, and the next flight back across the Atlantic will be when we're taking our 777 from Seattle across. Looking forward to that. So for anyone interested in the Abu Dhabi Autonomous Racing League, it starts this weekend. They use spec Super Formula cars. No way. Nighthawk says, Newfoundland was not part of Canada during the Bremen flight. Ooh. Where was it part of? Airlock, brilliant. Was it part of the United States, Nighthawk, or was it French, or what was the story? It was Russian? Well, no, well, your man was French. The person the lighthouse keeper, he was French. Newfoundland joined the Confederation in 1949. They were independent. Oh, wow. Never knew that. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. Zybok, another week or two, I think. Newfoundland was a British Commonwealth back then. Independent or part of the Commonwealth? Well, it was always part of the Commonwealth, I suppose, was it? It's just fascinating. And, like, even the stuff we learned now tonight about, you know, the aerodrome at Tala. Jesus, lads, it's fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. But right, what we need to do, we need another head count because there's a lot of name tags. So, if you're still flying along with us, Xbox pilots press 1. If you're on the PC, press 2. That screen froze. And if you're here for the sheer crack of it, well, you lot then, for the sheer crack of it, press number 3, and all is well in the realm. Yeah, baby! Look at the state of that though, lads. Isn't it incredible? So we have 38 on the PC, 3 on console, and someone who's been Jesus by his wing folk. Thank you very much indeed, Super Tie. So yes, land ho, we have land ahead. And let's jump into our FMS here. Let's have a look at what's happening. So, Datka appears to be the next waypoint, next page. And then we're pretty much straight in. So, lads, I do believe it is time to start our descent, friends. So let me see. Let's bring her down all the way to about 9,000. Flight level 9 or 0. That's what we're heading for. It's going to be a while getting down the hill. Down you go, you divil. 9 or 1,000. We'll arm that.
Can I get a refund?
We're going to go V-speed. And we're going to go down the road here a little bit. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to start bringing our power back a little bit. Descent mode is activated. Keep an eye on our speed as we start. And what are we doing? About 1,000 feet per minute. That's quite okay. Okay. We're on the way down, lads. We're on the way down. Brilliant. Englewood, welcome in. Yeah, you can view top of descent in the VNav and the FMS after setting a target VS. Larger light, thank you. Can you bring up the flight map again, as in on Navigraph? Here we go. So we're now officially in Canadian airspace. And we're going to be coming in this way. So we chose runway 26, was it? Yeah. So straight in, lads. We are straight in. Now, are we getting any sort of a METAR? Let's go ahead and open up the airport. Look at info, weather. So, winds are 290, 10 knots. 15 miles visibility. Few clouds at 5, few clouds at 2.5. Temperature 2, dew point -2. Altimeter 3024. Density altitude -1640 or 1684. Jesus. Okay. So your power management is somewhat important here, but we're bringing our speed down nicely. The conga line of Volanta is so cool. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So where was these maps earlier on? We'll close them. That was so cool looking at whatchamacallit. Looking at Tala. That was brilliant. So what's our airline radar looking like? Whoa! Check out our airline radar, look. Look at that, lads. That's so friggin' cool, isn't it? Colonel Fork has rambled in. Good to see you, my guy. Happy Friday. You join us as we're about to approach Canada, eh? Wow, look at the scenery. Look at the cut of that. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Volanta has a few on as well. Let's have a look at your Volanta. I should fly with Volanta on. What about Canada B, right? Oh yeah, flightsim traffic. Turn on Volanta traffic. Oh, look at this, lads. That's freaking class looking. I love it. I'm on Volanta if anyone wants to add me as a buddy. You get to see me flying. There's my active flight. It looks as if I'm in a Comanche. Uh-oh. We're not in a Comanche, right? That's so cool looking. Loving it. Look at this. Isn't this superb? What's your name? Jed. Just Two-Tone Murphy. Come on, shake your body. Do the Congo. 004 Aviation. You're very welcome in, man. Great to see you. So speed hovering around 200 knots. We're passing through 260 down to 900. And about 1,000 feet per minute. Any weekend streamage plans? I'm not sure yet, Colonel Fork. I need to install this. I got me wing panel, which is a lot bigger than what I thought, lads. This, look at it, right? It's beside the mallet head for like accurate sizing. It's freaking huge. So I need to find somewhere for this to live and get it set up and see if I can fly Airbus. Because oh Jesus, yeah, because it's pretty cool. It's awesome looking. I like it. I like it. Wind wings shouldn't be... A wind wig wouldn't be too bad either, right? I like the buttons on it though.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus. Do you know what I mean? It looks nice. It came this week too. It's pretty good. How do I get mine? I'd love to pick one of those up. Just go onto the website, you can grab one. How do you click buttons and all this? I'll go over here and show you, look. So that's the gadget there, look. Ooh. Like, it's a sizable gadget, isn't it? It's quite big. So yeah. I should have enough space, yeah, I should. I hear it doesn't support fly-by-wire. Yeah, I'll have a look at I'll have a look to see what SPAD can do with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, $99. I got mine there today. But I couldn't get over the size of it. It was freaking huge. Freaking huge. If you use DirectX 12, be sure to update to the latest WinWing software. Thanks, Echo Tango. Gibba says, I couldn't live without my mini FCU, yo. Isn't it mad? Like, I imagine once I have that installed, I'd be hopeless without it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's all about. I tend to stay away from using panels only because it forces me to learn where things are in the airplane. Do you know what I mean? Because I used to have the full panel setup, and I've since reinstalled my SciTech gear. I have an autopilot and a radio panel, but that's just handy for when you're flying on VATSIM. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I'll have to get that. Dougal, it looks pretty cool. It works natively on fly-by-wire, but no displays on the device. Works fine on the Phoenix. Doesn't work on anything else without SPAD. Okay, so if I can turn it on with SPAD, I think we're laughing. Fly-by-water? Huh. Oh no, I'm looking forward now to see how it goes. Don't forget, guys, if you are enjoying the streamage, if you're on YouTube, do be sure to click the like, subscribe buttons. It recommends this stream to other people currently on YouTube. Some say there's hundreds of millions of people on it, right? So if you are enjoying the streamage, do be sure to hit the like button. Can't find room in your desk? Yeah, like I don't know where mine's going to fit, to be honest. But like, do you know, also on my desk that I haven't installed yet is a real SimGear 530. Like, I have one of them, and I don't have a spare gadget to make it work. I have a USB, but I have no HDMI slots free. And I don't think you can run these in network mode. QA Pilot passed 100,000 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible. It's a massive achievement. It's a pity it doesn't have mounting holes on the bottom. No? Oh, yeah. But you could probably do something with the adapters that came with it. So, like, the screws on the back of it. So, like, with the adapters that come with it, you'd probably be able to do with something. I reckon. You know what I mean? But yeah. Right, where are we at? We're going to be landing now soon. Altitude is coming down nicely. 22,000 feet. Hot glue for the win. Yeah. Airlock, no. Whatever it is, on the streaming PC, on Iceman, right? I have 4 screens. So I have my main one, I have 2 smaller ones, and I have my capture card. No, I don't. I have it. One, two, three. Where's the other one going? One, two, three. They're off that machine. I don't know.
Jesus.
Jesus, I don't know. Nothing like Velcro. Velcro works really well, yes. Negative, not tonight, Rad Baron. I thought it was 4 it can take. Why? How many screens are on this gadget? Oh wait, it's that's what it is. The fourth screen is going to my capture card, so it'll only do 4 screens. It won't do a 5th screen because I have a line out of the graphics card going into my capture card, which lives on my streaming setup. That's what it is. So I can't have another one. Unfortunately, I can't get another monitor in there. I have enough fucking monitors, but still, do you know? USB-C to HDMI still won't work. So I have a USB-C to HDMI. It won't detect it as a monitor. And I even tried a wireless monitor. No. It's like there's something in Windows that won't do any more than 4 screens out. Or at least that's the headache that I'm having, Airlock. I can't get around it. You know what I mean? But do you have enough car? Oh wait, but do you not have enough car? Car? Probably run out of resolution. I don't know. Like the 4090, it's okay. Everything's in 4K. On my well, it should be on 4K if you're on YouTube, right? But yeah, I don't know. Can a GPU only do like 8K in total? No. That's the highest resolution, but it can do multiples of that resolution. You know? Okay, we need to get a little bit more aggressive here with our descent. Have I tried Space Deck? I have, and it still won't. That other monitor, when it connects, it has to connect in, sorry, the GNS has to connect as a monitor. You know what I mean? So it's not a standalone wireless monitor. You know? I'll figure it out. There's Mr. Dan over there, look, in his Concorde. Ran yourself. Okay, so we need to watch our height here. We're probably, what? 60 miles? So we're descending here at around 1,500 feet per minute. Speed is starting to pick up a little. Let's bring it back a bit. And we're at 18,000 feet. Because we're in North America, that is that's now our transition level. Does the game PC have an integrated GPU? No, it doesn't. So I can't even use that. But I see where you're going with that. 66 miles out? Nice. Mr. Dan did a 300 feet per minute landing in Concorde the other day. Dude! That's impressive, man. So my plan is next week, we're going to have an additional stream on Tuesday. Some general aviation if you're around. That's the plan at least. Put a smile on your face. Would it work with a display link USB dongle? I tried that as well, Mark. No. No look at all. And I even tried it into like a multi USB-C hub. Nah, didn't want to work. It's fine. Again, I like having the displays inside the aircraft. Like the panel that I have for the Airbus, I'm just looking forward to that, you know? So 4 streams every week. Maybe not every week, but we'll see how we get on. What will put a smile on my face is a new series. A Scary Wolf, there are many new series in planning. Many. So, yeah, like where did I won't give you all the answers now, but where did I hide these now? Just to give you some of the ideas, right? Whoop! Nearly gave them all away. Well, I better not tell you them in case someone else copies them and then they do them. And then, like, you know what I mean? There's lots, right? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I have 27. I have 27. I have 27 different series planned. There's lots of them, like, do you know? No, it's okay. It doesn't matter if you read the first few. I've already told you about them. I've already told you about them at, like, the start of the year. But yeah, just so you know, anyway, there's a ton of other content. Tons and tons and tons of it. But anyway. We'll be kept busy, lads. That's the idea. Now, how are we getting on over here? We're doing alright. We're doing alright. Right. Speed is coming down. Altitude is coming down. More than Sky TV. Yeah, I'm telling you. I do love the creativity on what we all fly and the planning. Yeah, it's so much fun. Give us like, shut up more if you tick. It's grand, Gibbo. You only give them a bit of the information, you know. And then when you get feedback, you go, oh, that looks crap. Yeah, we weren't going to do it anyway. Ah, right? Brilliant. Now, look at the state of the scenery. Look at this, lads. So we're heading to Goose Bay. Now, 12,000 feet. APU will come back online at around 5,000. So we're still just kind of tickety-boo here at the moment. Goose mentioned, indeed, electricity is back 30 minutes after they ruined my flight. Oh, no way, B. Carlo. It'll be somehow fun. Look at the weather here, look. Whoa! Some places have snow, some don't. It's so cool looking. Oh yeah, good man. Local barometric pressure, 3022 according to live. So we're coming down to 11. Go ahead and turn on the old landing lights. Seatbelt lights on. And I might get the old APU up and running now in case I forget. Hummingbird says, I went shopping earlier. The cashier said strip down facing me. By the time I realised what she was talking about my debit card, it was too late. Or she was talking about your debit card. Oh, stripe down. No, strip down. Oh, God. I mean, you and the team planning all the flights. Super fun. Oh, it's awesome. The lads come up with great ideas. Like the Firefly Air stuff, that's what the whole team do. The Monday night stuff, well, I do a little bit of that. APU. Right. So, we need the following. PTU on, APU generator on, and APU bleed air on. Okay, okay. Just a little bit of snow here and there at the airport. Nice. So 9,000 is what we want. We'll level off at 9er. And then we'll ramble on in for another little bit. Bit of fog over the runway, look. This is stunning. Look at the state. This is a great plane, isn't it? Beautiful. Anyone see Manor Lords? Is that out yet? Anyone watching Manor Lords? Looks amazing. This is Lake Melville you're flying over. Oh, nice. Englewood says, yeah, it's great. Bought it today. It's out in early access. Isn't it on Game Pass? Hummingbird is like, I'm glad some of you's got it. Not just a hat rack. Yeah, tons of German streamers are playing it. It's on offer. I'll hold off for another year though. SimCity meets medieval stuff. Yeah, it's not on Game Pass. It's not free on Game Pass. It's on Game Pass? Nice. Yeah, I want to try that. I knew we wouldn't get it as soon as he started reading it. I got it! I didn't really, no. Am I that bad, am I? Yes, Murph, you are. It's only a demo on Game Pass. What? My father and my brother were the first captains into Goose Bay in consecutive years. Have to wait for the ice to thin out. Jeez. Do you not get the full game on Game Pass? Hang on a second. Honor Lords. Included with Game Pass. Hang on a second. No, it's full game. Like, the game itself is in early access. I might get that. Unhorsed Goose, yeah, good idea. Game preview on top. What? Did I, like, just, you know, easily just kind of jump past all that? Oh, game preview? What do they mean by that? Are you joking? Does it mean I have to buy it after the launch? What are they doing? But game preview, does that not mean just early access? Yeah, I was thinking that. It is the full game. Jesus, don't be doing that to me, lads. It's early access, yeah. Microsoft call it game preview. Okay, fair enough. Shouldn't Microsoft be called? Anyway, shh. Game is far from complete. I think it'd be good. Right, where are we at now? There's Barney Gumble. There's an F-14 below our nose, look. Right, we're kind of close here. Tailwind 13. Okay. My sim has turned into a stuttering mess, unflyable. I don't believe you. I've no idea what causes it, Eamon, but when it happens, it's an absolute pain in the ass, man. Bossman Gaming, I tell you, it's in a terrible state right now.
Hello there.
Curly Toes, good to see you. This is beautiful here, isn't it? It's stunning. Okay, let's drop again. Down to 4,000. We might go to 3. We'll go to 4 first, right? And that vertical speed. Let's be having you. Down the arrow we go. I have starters all the time lately. Roll back the drivers. All good now. No way. Okay, bring the speed back a little bit. I also had this mad stuttering trying to stay in flight. It's terrible, isn't it? And it's gas. I get it when no one else does, and then you guys are getting what I don't. Murphy's Law or something, right? Murphy's Law. Hello there, F-14. Okay, easy does it. Bring that power right back. Bring this nose right into the emissions here now. Get us right down. Because that runway is going to be pretty much dead ahead. Is that it over there? That's it there, look. Okay. What's the speed creeping up? Get the old air brake out. Oh, yes. This should be interesting. Negative, not tonight, Ascari. Right, okay, so quick check. PGU is running. We're looking good. Yeah, we're looking good. Landing lights are on. Disappear the name tags for the moment. Here's 4,000 feet. Get the speed brake in. Speed 200. Oz Flight Simmer, hey, good morning. How are things, man? You join us here in the 146, brand new Firefly Air livery, and we're just about to do a landing at a place called Goose Bay. And we took off from Greenland and we headed across, and we're going to be landing here now in a moment. It's good to see you. I guess that's the runway there, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Start bringing this power back. I think that's a runway there. I'm almost certain that's a runway there. It is a runway there. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? Okay, speed coming down nicely. Nice, just woke up so you can say I'm waking up with Murph. Oh, behave, baby. Brilliant. Imagine though, turning over in your bed, seeing all of this. Right, do you know? Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Make it stop. Brilliant. DC-4 in Alaska that crashed earlier this week went down fast. A DC-4 went down here? No way. So the DO-31 can be used in long-haul flights. All I have to do now is land. Uh-oh. Seeing the handsome devil next to you. Brilliant. Right, speed coming down. Not your flaps. Let's have the gear. Autopilot. Good luck to you.
Autopilot disconnected.
Autopilot off, my airplane. Power control back into MCT. Alrighty then. This is a hell of a nice flight. Little bit high, Murph. Just a little bit. Stunning plane, this, isn't it? Stunning. Would you believe I got the stutters on short final? I don't believe it. It's stuttering here for me too, Muse.
2500.
Oh no, it's proper stuttering, look. Ah, Jesus, Sim, come on. So we're all experiencing these stutters tonight. I don't believe it. The last 2 hours was absolutely grand, and now this. Jesus, this is going to be tricky. Oh. That's what happened to Muse Fan as well. So it's the sim. Sort your sim out, Microsoft. Oh, Jesus. This is just like an extra layer of challenge I wasn't expecting.
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus. Right, we're committed. I'm not restarting it now. We're going in like this. Let's see what happens. No stutters for you, really? You lucky devil. Sim has a mind of its own. Yeah. Here we go. No, we aren't. Yes, we are.
They've done studies, you know.
Easy.
60% of the time, it works every time.
This is going to be very difficult to fly.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
Don't hit the ground. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, look at this. How are we supposed to land this?
Plus 100.
Yeah, we're landing somehow. Mother of God. And I was only saying, Jesus, the thing ran fairly well tonight. Stupid thing. Alright, here we go. How are we going to...
sleepy,
Ah, Jesus, don't make it any harder than it is. Brilliant. It was all good for you, but you were ahead of the pack. It's got to be multiplayer, right? Sweet lamb of Jesus, look at this.
50.
Yeah.
40,
Oh, no.
30.
Easy. Jesus.
20.
Jesus.
10.
120, we'll take it. spoilers out.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, look at everyone lined up though. It looks beautiful.
Oh, Jesus.
It looks incredible. There you go. Don't forget to lift the spoilers now. Indeed. What a way to end the flight.
Can I get a refund?
That was so much fun. Oh, the starters. Come on, Sim. Sort your stuff out, man. Jesus. They gotta fix this. Like, it's not just happening to me now. Like, it's happening to everyone. You know what I mean? Stutter on flare, now that's a Sim feature. It is. I need to like restrict that fella from coming up every 2 minutes. And I didn't have LRM running. Muse, you must now redo the entire flight. Brilliant. Sterling did the same. That's fantastic. Well done. Oh, Jesus, don't hit the taxi play. There's a Vulcan. Oh, Jesus. Right. Park and brake. Drone camera. Drone camera. Reset said drone camera.
Jesus.
Right. They're all lined up, yeah.
Jesus.
I need to do something with that. Ah, Jesus. Look at the state of this slideshow. Ah, brilliant, lads. Look at that. That was some flight, wasn't it? And there's more coming in.
Jesus.
I need to put a cooldown or something on that. Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Will you stop pressing that button? Brilliant. Ah, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
As Murphy stares on in Ah, Jesus. Oh, you broke it now, look. Ah, well done, lads. You broke it. You broke it.
Oh,
you broke it now. Right, that's it. Should have been, lads. Thank you all so very, very much indeed for flying on.
Jesus.
Flying along with us tonight. Something definitely new. And stutters on final.
Jesus.
Stop.
Jesus.
Shut up, Colin Meaney. Give it a rest, will you? Jesus. Right.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Just stop. This is no more of that, right?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
The screen has just turned into Ah, Jesus. It's broken again, look.
Oh, Jesus.
It's out of sync. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, Jesus.
They can't take you lot anywhere, you know that?
Oh, Jesus.
Now the bots are trying to take over, saying stop pressing the button. Ah, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Hang on a second. I've one better now. Hang on.
Hello there.
Hello there. Where's this now? Where's the button I'm looking for? It was up here, look. Hang on now. Oh, yeah, this will work.
Oh, Jesus.
Hang on now. Shh. We'll turn this up.
Jesus.
It's going to be stereo sound and Ah, Jesus.
Jesus. Uncle Jesus. Oh, no one. Jesus. For Jesus' sake. Jesus, thanks very much. Jesus. Oh, good Jesus. Oh. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, do you hear that?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus.
No,
Jesus, no. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you ever see it? I haven't played this for a minute. I don't know how YouTube would like this.
Dude, I've been drinking. I have, Ted. I've been drinking like a mad eater.
For Jesus' sake. Jesus, thanks very much. Jesus! Oh, good Jesus! Oh, jeez! Oh, jeez! Oh, jeez! Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Jesus, do you hear that? Jesus, oh, Jesus.
no,
Jesus, no. Oh, Jesus. Ah, Jesus Christ! What in the name of Jesus was that?
Oh, Jesus.
Right, we look at the important things, friends. Brilliant, absolutely great crack. But thank you all so very, very much indeed for joining us here this evening. What a great flight. And well, we're back to you on... When are we back to you? We're back to you on Monday. We might do something beforehand. Let's see how we get on. But guys, I want to thank you all so much for flying along, and brilliant, absolutely brilliant. All the different aircraft we have, the amount of fighters that you brought out, all the Tornadoes, incredible. To all our friends watching us on YouTube, thank you guys for all the likes. For everyone here on Twitch, thank you very, very much indeed, lads. The support, as always, absolutely incredible. And I just love getting to go flying with you. It's awesome. So until the next time, do be sure to check out Alison Johnson's flight tomorrow. I'm almost certain Ali's flying tomorrow. And as I said, we'll be hanging around as well, doing something. So until the next time, thanks for flying. You take care. Hold down, lads. Hang on. Jesus, get the ball off him. Why is he in? Don't let him do that. Don't. Oh.
Did you see that? Take it out of that.